wasn't as crispy as the first few of the year, though.
Oh, for sure not. But I think the most important thing is I think there are two very distinct peaks in the audio clip.
Yeah.
So as long as there's that,
those up.
yeah, as long as those are good, then we're fucking chilling.
You got something to work
We're
with.
fucking chilling, dude. Middle of the day podcast.
I know, crazy midday pod.
Are you down for a midday fucking Bruce?
Of course, man. All I have to do is a Zoom later today, so I can.
I also have another surprise in there.
Oh, do you now? Yes. Oh, very exciting. Okay. Oh, let me see.
Yeah, keys.
Got a bottle opener on this bad boy, eh?
But yeah, it's been a minute since we've like done one in like.
Yeah, I don't.
In the daytime.
We've probably only done like one or two before, right? I don't know.
No, I feel like we used to do them I feel like at one point there was a time where we were doing them like in the middle of the day.
Okay. I think it was also too, we used to do them earlier in the day on the weekends. Because I remember for a long time we would be like half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would start and it would still be light outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then halfway through the podcast it would get dark.
Yeah.
But it's also time change stuff right now too. So
fucking
like,
California shit, bro.
Yeah. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Shit we have to deal with in fucking California.
Oh, God, it's so difficult.
Hopefully we don't have to for much longer.
I saw this funny, I can't remember her name. It's like something Wolf. She's a comedian. She's a redhead.
Mm-hmm.
And she does this funny thing where she's like doing a joke. She's like, white women have it hard right now. And everybody laughs or whatever, right? She's like, no, really, they do. Because like everybody's talking and coming out about their real problems. And like white women are having a really hard time getting on board that train. She's like, but you can't have a skincare routine and have a hard life. And then she just does this bit where she's like, oh, my life's so hard. It's like, does the fucking like super intense, like, so difficult.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, she's funny, dude.
What's her name?
Something Wolf. Michelle Wolf. I think it's Michelle Wolf. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been seeing her shorts. She has a new stand-up tour right now, I think.
Okay.
That she's been on, yeah. So like a bunch of the clips from all that has been showing up on my YouTube feed.
I want to go to a comedy show. I've never been to one, and I would love to go to one.
Yeah, okay. Actually, after the podcast, I was gonna. That's so crazy that you mentioned that, because yeah, I may have an opportunity for you, my good sir.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm going to the Isaiah Rashad concert on Friday.
Oh, nice.
So when we're recording this, it's Wednesday. So
only a couple days away.
Yeah, the day you're hearing this, I will be going to the Isaiah Rashad concert.
Very excited.
But I'm excited because it's his 10-year anniversary for his first like album or like mixtape that he put out. I don't know. Like I just don't know what to categorize it. Like if it is an album or it is a mixtape, because like that sometimes I feel like people nowadays use those words interchangeably. You know.
Sure.
But his first time ever putting out like a full body like of work.
It's the project,
Mm-hmm.
the first big project.
Yeah, the first big project, and it's really good. And he says like that was his first time ever like writing like full songs too, and like
interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see him because I saw him when he went on tour for his second album, or I don't know if that's like his debut album. But The Sun's Tirade is vastly different from his first body of work.
I've heard songs off of that one for sure.
That one's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
But he was definitely also like there was a lot of shit going on in his life, so it was definitely like, you know,
a
lot
more
of
hardcore.
Yeah, a bit more hardcore, a lot of different shit. And then like his third album, The House is Burning, which is his latest one that he's dropped, is definitely like way different from those as well. So I'm just interested to see him like perform those older songs
alongside the new stuff,
but also as like an evolved artist. And he's like not only evolved as an artist, but as like a performer as well, you know. So it's gonna be interesting to see him because he did like my friend Mitchell, who I'm going with, he sent me like he did Isaiah Rashad did a performance for like Spotify, and they took like a video of it or whatever. It was almost like a Tiny Desk performance, Tiny Desk-esque
sessions, Spotify sessions, or whatever, right? Yeah. And
he was performing those old songs, and they sounded like way different than like they originally do. And obviously, he was performing them with like a live band too, so it's gonna like
change the sound.
Yeah, the sound is gonna change, but like the way he was performing them sounded way different too. So.
That's cool.
I was like, holy shit. Okay, I'm excited. I never would have thought to hear this song this way, but he is, and he's singing it, and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I can see both sides of going to see somebody like in a live concert, you know, because like I think some people want to go and they want to hear their favorite song performed the way they know it.
Yeah.
But I also think, and I get that 100%. Like, if that's what you're down for, I'm down for that too sometimes, you know? Like, then I get it. Especially if it's, like, super expensive tickets for like a really big artist,
Mhm.
like play the hits, you know.
Yeah.
But like I do also like when you can change things up and like have a different vibe to stuff that people are familiar with in a
Mhm.
live show, and it like is a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a treat for the, I don't want to say the real fans, but you know what I mean though, like.
But like the more like maybe people who are more like, I don't know, I don't want to say like musically inclined, but just like
It's like open-minded,
you
musically
know,
open-minded or
yeah,
something.
yeah, stuff like that. Because I definitely like appreciate that shit when I can hear like like an artist flip their song like a different way and play it.
Then
like,
you get a whole new version of the song. Yeah.
You're like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. And then Efren just actually texted me about like because the Pro-Am, the golfing, the PGA Tour Pro-Am is this week in Pebble Beach.
Cool.
And the tickets are only $125.
That's not bad.
Which honestly, yeah, isn't bad.
No.
So fuck, I might have to hop on that.
Yeah, hell yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that would be fun on Sunday.
Definitely go just check out. You're just watching?
Yeah, you just watch, walk around.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Just
you probably drink,
have some beer. Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
drink there too.
Yeah, that sounds chill. That sounds nice.
But yeah, because there's a lot of there's like golfers on that are, I don't know like what tournament goes along with. Well, I mean it's the Pro-Am, so the pros are playing with like you know like a celebrity or something. But like you know they're doing their like practice rounds and stuff like that.
Oh okay. Yeah.
And it's like hella windy and stuff, and I think it was like raining there a little bit. So it's always interesting.
Yeah, the weather's been, I mean, not like bad or anything, but it's just been raining or like rainy a lot.
We have those weird days where like it's like sunny and it's like pretty nice, but then it's like today where it's like very overcast and like kind of cold and like looks like it wants to rain.
Yeah, I've been tripping too because like I feel like some days I'll wake up and it's sunny and like, I mean, I assume the morning. I told you before the podcast started, my schedule's been fucked up. So like I'm waking up in the early afternoon, but it's still sunny until like 2, maybe 3. And then I'll go and look outside all of a sudden at like 4 or 5 and it's back to this.
Yeah.
Which is like really annoying. Pick a lane, man.
I'm just ready for the time to change back so we get more sunlight.
Yeah, me too. I don't like how dark it gets right away. It's like
it always throws me off because I always like every year I always wonder like, damn, does it really get dark this early, like around this time?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's very jarring, I think, compared to the rest of the year. I don't remember it being that hardcore when I was little, but also I was a kid, so you know I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that was my thought too, where I was like, damn, when I was a kid I did not notice this, but yeah, I was probably also inside.
Yeah,
you know.
And when you're a kid too, you're just like on autopilot. You just go to school and then you come back home and like do your homework and play video games or something. Yeah. You go to fucking sports or whatever, you know, like you're not in control of your life. You're just going through the motions.
You're in the like the training mode still. Yeah.
Versus like now when I have to drive my ass home from work in the dark at 5 o'clock, I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit. Fuck this.
Dude, I hate driving in the dark. I have astigmatism too, so it sucks even fucking more with like the headlights and shit like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I don't mind like on the vision side of things, like doesn't bother me too much, but I get sleepy in the car as it is on like long drives. So
can you fall asleep while you're driving? Just falling asleep and you're just like,
you know, I've never actually fallen asleep at the wheel before, but I have been stuck in 25 traffic multiple times, and I am like shaken out of almost falling asleep by somebody honking. Because on 25 you'll be in dead ass traffic for so long. Yeah. I'll just park and just wait until it's time to fucking move because it's gonna be like a cool like minute or two.
Yeah.
And then like on days that I'm really tired and stuff, like I'll feel my eyes and I'm like rubbing them, trying to stay awake, like drinking water, drinking an energy drink, whatever I have and shit. And then all of a sudden I just hear ring, and I'm like, oh yep, okay, time to go. Let's go.
That's when you have to like just turn your air on, like just super cold.
That's
like,
what
turn the AC on and just like blast it at your face. And you're just
that's always my fucking strategy is just super cold ass air. And I'll open the windows as always works better too, because then it's like just the actual force of the wind too, you know. The force.
Use the force, Luke.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video where it's like the dude with like the Star Wars fucking like action figures, and he's like, so this frog man was this guy's master, and who was this guy's master, and he was this guy's master, and he like is just going down like the lineage of like what Star Wars is, and he's like, and this guy gets his limbs cut off, and then he turns into a robot, and then he has a kid, and then he and the dad fight, and then he cuts his arm off, and then he goes and trains with the frog man, and then the frog man disappears, and then it's just hella funny. Like and then at the end he goes, and that's Star Wars.
Nice. That's very true. Honestly, yeah. Not inaccurate. I haven't seen that one, but I've seen them do something similar with Legos. So I wonder if it was like the audio and somebody just like took it and
maybe
you know what I mean? Because I feel like people do that a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Like remix.
Yeah, it was on Instagram, and it's like if you like there's popular audios, you know, like you can put audio shit under your
people
fucking
like
movies.
Lip sync to it or like do whatever, right? Yeah.
The TikTok influence, man. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That shit's funny. It's kind of crazy. Like I don't totally 100% hate it anymore, but mostly because I've had to like dip my toes into those waters a little bit more as of like recently, not super lately. I've been taking a break for a minute, but like I don't hate on it like quite as much, but it is still kind of crazy to just see like how many people and like how many accounts will just like post the exact same thing. Like it's not, I mean, sometimes you get like a little gem where it's like, oh, okay, this is actually like a funny creative spin on like the original thing or whatever, right? And like that'll probably also get like 1 million views, and then that's the new popular one. But then everybody does that thing, and then it's just like continuous like copy and paste.
I always like am intrigued by the ones where like the production on it is super good. Like the way it's shot and everything is like super crazy, and you're like, wow. Because like think about how much you have to like shoot for that, and how much constant like record, pause, record, pause, record, pause, and then you have to go and like fucking edit all that shit. Like I really like the cooking ones when they fucking like are slapping all the ingredients on it and goes like,
oh yeah
like that. I'm like, damn, that's fucking
they
cool. Because like you really have to get down in editing and be like, all right, how am I gonna fucking line this
drop
up?
Them all
like,
in there. Yeah, definitely.
And you got to like record all that right too. Like
that's the part that's crazy to me, is it's like how off. Like I think if you are a full on like influencer or like a YouTuber or like whatever, and you're like doing them consistently, then like I think sometimes they end up having somebody there to help. Like they have a camera person, right? And that definitely makes it a lot easier, because like that's one of the most pain in the ass things about doing it alone that I found, is it's like you have to go, and for like a 10-second clip, you have to like line up the fucking camera, be like, all right, I think that's right. Press record, run over there, do your little bullshit shenanigans, and then run back and then like check it to make sure it's right. It's like that 20 times, and then you spend fucking 2 hours editing all those little things together for something that's like 45 seconds. Yeah,
it's crazy how it's like just it's just a condensed version of like YouTube. It like forces you to be like a more simplified YouTube. You know, it's like just taking all of it down to the bare bones and being like, okay, just put all of like it's like Cliff Notes of like YouTube and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, how quick can we put all this together and give you like all the main points? Because like you can learn to like cook off of like that shit. People that do like the really good like cooking TikToks and stuff like that, like you can learn to cook a whole ass fucking meal just from TikTok.
I do like those too, honestly, because like I think just for like our generation's like current attention span, I think it's like effective. Like, you know, call it what you will. It's, I mean, we do have short attention spans, whatever. It is what it is. But it is effective, because like when I watch a 5-minute video of how to like cook something, I'm skipping to the parts that I need. Like I'm not sitting there watching the whole 5-minute video. But then I also don't want to sit there for fucking 10 minutes and read the whole article that it's linked to either, that has all the steps, you know, that are just lined up. So like it's like an effective aesthetic, like gets into your brain way to just like teach you how to do something.
It breaks down like shit like cooking to its most like simplified form to like show you how like, oh, it's pretty fucking easy. It's
like boom, 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 boom. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do, these things. Like that's why I think my parents used to watch a lot of like Food Network and stuff like that when I was growing up, because they were fucking growing up when I was growing up. You know, they were super young. And I always thought like even like I'm older now, and I think back to it, like 30-Minute Meals by Rachel Ray.
Oh yeah,
was such a great fucking show. One, the title is super fucking
Super
catchy.
catchy, yeah.
Super catchy.
Yeah.
You're like, what? A meal in 30 minutes? Awesome. Because, like, how often is it where you're like, fuck? Like, you're thinking about making something. It's like, damn, it's going to take me a long time to fucking do this.
Yeah.
But if you have someone being like, no, motherfucker, this actually can only take you 30 minutes.
Yeah, you
and
can
I'm going
do
to show
this.
you meals to cook in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude. That's crazy.
Revolutionary.
That's like streaming. That's like a streaming gold mine now. Like if Rachel Ray were to have come out today in like the streaming era, she would probably be like the biggest like food streamed fucking like creator on fucking like
easily
on like a Netflix or like a fucking HBO Max or like even fucking YouTube. If she was just like came out like, hey, 30-minute meals, boom. Honestly, I'd be like, fuck, let's get it, dude.
Let's check it out, dude. Yeah. Honestly, somebody could take those episodes and chop them up into TikTok still.
For sure.
Yeah, like easily with all the footage that exists. I'm sure they could do it. It might not be as like perfectly in the pocket as like everything else is, because like, there is the shooting and editing and stuff that makes it a little more poppy, but like people would go catch on to that super quick, I think.
This past weekend, I got really into, there's this YouTube channel called Eater, and they do just like a lot of different food related content.
Okay.
And I walked in on my dad watching an episode of like a barbecue competition. And I like, I grew up watching like the Food Network with my parents. So I fuck with that type of content, I like food. I like eating.
Who doesn't?
Fucking shoot me, I guess. But so I like walked in and I was watching it. And granted, I think I was like kind of hungry. So I really got locked into it because I was like, damn, this looks like some good ass fucking food. But then like another one came on about like they have this like series within their channel, like where they talk to like Michelin star owner,
cool.
like restaurant owners or like people that like run super high end restaurants, and they like, it's basically like a Food Network episode on like, like the show could be called just like Running My Restaurant or like something like that. They basically tell you like, like what it takes and shit like that, and why they do what they do, and like obviously what they do and what their like main dishes, like shit like that. And dude, I was locked into that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I went in and I just started watching it, and then my dad like left, and I would just sat there like watching and just kept watching episodes, and he was like, hey, you can turn that off. And I was like,
no,
dude,
I can't.
I'm like, I actually love watching this right now.
That's funny.
But it was good, bro. Like I watched like there was like a Korean like steakhouse episode that I watched, and that shit was pretty fucking cool. And there were like the two main like chefs were like trying to come up with like a platter type fucking deal that costs like $250. But like initially when they made it cost like $250, but like the owner wanted it to cost less. But like the idea is like, one, to come to like a nice restaurant that obviously has like a lot of like stuff like that's nice to like look at, and a lot of like performative things, like they come out and they cook all the shit on there like for you and stuff like that, but they also, the idea is like you to come with like a group of people. So it's like if that's all you wanted to get, they're like, hey, this would probably only cost you like $50 a person to like,
and it feeds everybody.
You guys come and you guys have like a good time and like blah blah, blah all that. And I was like,
cool.
I was like, damn, that shit's fucking crazy. But they were cooking up some crazy fucking shit.
Nice.
And they were looking at like fucking caviar and shit like that, and what kind of caviar they like wanted. And there was like this caviar lady like that they had, and I don't know if she like
the caviar consultant.
I don't know if she like breeds fish to like get their eggs to look like a certain way. But the dude at the end was like, I'm looking for like some caviar that's like kind of white, and like he like specified all these things he wanted his caviar to look like, and this lady was like, okay, like I guess like cool, like buddy. I guess I just got to start breeding more fish because I don't know, like
we'll do what we can do.
Pal. Yeah, exactly. But I was like, that's so funny.
That'd be like,
I want white caviar with like hints of blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's
to, like,
insane.
It's like, well, okay, like what do you?
That'd be like trying to like tell like your pregnant wife like what you want the baby to look like.
Yeah.
You're like
actually, can you make sure that they have freaking green eyes and
I don't know, dude. We'll roll the dice. We'll
I guess we can try.
We'll try. I don't know.
That's fucking funny. But I was just like also tripping on like, damn, what like that's such like a niche business to have of like a caviar distributor. Yeah. To a high-end fucking restaurant. That's crazy.
Probably makes
I want to know how much she
too.
makes. Yeah.
Because caviar is expensive as fuck. So if she's the source, she's peddling that shit.
She's the source of it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, I'm sure.
But yeah, I got into that.
Nice.
Also, it was fucking championship football weekend, NFC and AFC championship games.
The
it's fucking great.
Niners made it to the Super Bowl.
They fucking did, dude.
And it's the Chiefs, right?
The Niners and the fucking Chiefs, dude.
Taylor Gate.
Yep, Taylor Gate. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's just like, it just so happens that the biggest fucking pop star in the world.
Yeah.
One of the best football players, like, happened to be dating, you know? But it's like, that's not something that's so new. Like,
no, for
like
sure.
At one point, you know, Tony Romo, he wasn't like the best quarterback in the league, but he was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and that's like that's America's team, quote unquote. So like you have the spotlight on you, and I think he was dating like Jessica Simpson or something like at the time. So it's like, this isn't something that's fucking new. It's
no,
just
definitely not. Yeah, I saw the one thing that I was tripping out on a little bit that got me. I was telling my sister about this the other day. It's like, I can't remember what podcast I saw it on, but like, it was just a short clip, and somebody was like bringing up a conspiracy theory about it, that like it's a business move. It's a business move to help like patch up an old thing of her reputation on Taylor Swift's part.
Mm-hmm.
Where like, I guess I'm forgetting the details here, so just go look up like Taylor Swift Chiefs conspiracy theory if you really want to see it. But apparently she made like some poor choices or something or other with like an airline, and she was like spending a lot of money on like gas, which is like obviously bad for the environment, right?
Yeah.
But like fucking private jet plane gas, like expensive shit or whatever.
But every fucking big celebrity does that.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. But I can't remember, but for some reason she got flagged for it. Like it was a controversy, like within the last few years. And it was like a big story, and that was like the main thing that came up when you typed in Taylor Swift on Google, was that controversy. And so people were saying that like this, I mean, it could be, it's 100% easily could be just a conspiracy theory, but that the airline that like she did stuff with was like also started with like a C or something like that. So now when people start to type in Taylor Swift C, the first thing that comes up is Taylor Swift Chiefs, like connection, blah blah blah, or something or other. And I was like, this could be like pothead, crackhead shit for sure, but also I could 100% see it, like easily. Like that could, like, not so much so that she was like trying to be like, you know, oh, I'm gonna fucking date this guy and this is gonna be the thing, but it could just been like, oh, I'm gonna go to a Chiefs game and like, I don't know, hang out and have a good time and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it sounds like it's definitely like a coincidence of like like, you know, now we know Taylor Swift is synonymous with like the NFL and blah blah blah. And
that's what's
like
weird about it, right? Because
you know?
It's like, when do you ever see her at a game?
But that's the thing. She could have easily just been like, oh, I'm just gonna start going to football games.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know,
but I just find it funny.
They could have come out with like literally just a Taylor Swift NFL like partnership, like if they fucking wanted to. If they wanted to, they could have had her fucking do the halftime show this year, you know?
Yeah,
what
that's true. Yeah. I just think it's funny because it's like, I don't know. I think it is a little bit out of nowhere for like how big of a deal it was. Like obviously she is super huge right now, so anything that she does is going to get like a lot of attention. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was super random. Like,
yeah. I think it is like also like, how often do those paths like cross, you know, where you get like one of the best football players of like this generation at like the peak of his career, also dating a pop star, like the biggest pop star, you know, how like how often does that crossover like happen to where people are like, you know, like watching that shit? Like the most, like, I would say, like, you know, you usually see like celebrities at like football games.
I was gonna say,
like
I guess because
know?
they're both at their peak, it's like a little different. But that was the main reason why I was so like surprised as to like why it was such a big deal. It's like, yeah, I see like a Kardashian at like a basketball game, like and like, oh, the rumors that they're dating somebody, or like you see like a famous movie star at a basketball game like making eyes at somebody and then they're on a date. So I was like, well, this is also a normal thing. Like, why is this one getting so much attention? But I guess because they're both like the best of the best right now or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just like, holy shit, Taylor Swift is like watching football. You know, that's like so. Like no one would probably ever have thought that in like a million years that like Taylor Swift was gonna come to like Kansas City Chiefs games. Yeah, you know, but I think it's good. It's good for football because it's like they're bringing in a different, like they're bringing in more eyes on football. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's always good.
I wonder how long it'll last though. Cause like,
oh, who knows?
Cause I don't imagine that like the crowd that Taylor Swift does bring to it is going to sit there and watch the whole game, you know? Like I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not going to say there's 0 people who are going to get interested in football all of a sudden. But I'm also not going to say that, like, I would imagine the majority of people are there for, like, the tea, you know?
Swifties are diehards, man. Like,
they're just going to do whatever she does.
I think so, bro. I literally, if they're just like...
It's like Taylor Swift watches football now. I am also a football fan now.
Because I feel like... I don't know any like hardcore Swifties, but from like the outside looking in, I feel like
they seem like a heavy duty fan base for sure.
A heavy duty fan that like is super into like everything she's fucking doing.
Yeah.
And that being such like an out of left field thing to be like, oh, Taylor Swift is watching football. Yeah. They're like, okay, now we gotta understand what the fuck football is if Taylor Swift is at these fucking football games.
Yeah.
You know.
I just think it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's random. It's random. Again, I think
it's cult. It's literally a cult. Like, if we want to call it what it is, because you're not coming to that shit out of your own interest. You're not just going to football because you're going there because your favorite famous person is influencing you.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's I'm not saying that's a good thing.
Yeah.
For those people to do that, but hey, man. If more people
You're
are
like, they're watching football. They're watching my thing now.
If more people are going to watch football, I'm fucking down for it. Because these games this weekend were pretty fucking good. The Chiefs versus the Ravens, that was it was just like an interesting one because like everyone thought the Ravens were going to knock the Chiefs off, myself included, because the Ravens were the number 1 seed. They were dominating all season. They had the number 1 rushing attack. They had a really good fucking defense. Lamar Jackson is probably going to win MVP again this year, and that's going to be his second MVP in I don't know how many fucking years. Dang. So, like, they had, like, you know, on paper, it's like, oh, yeah, the fucking Ravens are going to fucking win. Mm-hmm. Like, not that the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs, but they had their ups and downs through the season. They don't have Tyreek Hill, so a lot of the offense runs through Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They didn't have, like, the best running game all season. Granted, later in the season, it definitely got a lot better. Their defense has been pretty fucking solid, but they were never like the best run defense. So it was just like on paper, it's just like a matchup where it's like, okay, the Ravens, who have a really good running team, are obviously going to run all over a team that is a very average at defending the run, you know. Mm-hmm. But the Ravens just didn't fucking do that. They just didn't fucking run. They ran it, I think, a total of fucking 6 times the whole game, and it was a fucking trip. I was like, what am I watching here, dude?
See, those are the kind of things that trip me out because like I've never paid super, super close attention to football. But football has, in what I imagine or what I remember from my short 26 years on this earth, like I've seen the most, like, what the fuck happened all of a sudden? Mm-hmm. Why did this team come up in football? Mm-hmm. Or like the Deflategate shit or like whatever. Mm-hmm. Like there's always some fucking shit going down. Where it's like, I don't know, something was a little fishy about this thing.
Okay, so it wasn't that was fishy, but I think also is like a lot credit to like the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Like he does like just a really good job at making you do like what you're not good at. Like he makes you do that first versus like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fucking just run all over you. Like obviously they had like, again, it was just like weird that like they had like a few runs where like the running back would go off for like 8 yards, 15 yards, which is like really fucking good. So it's like, why aren't you doing that? But it's just like, I think there is also like, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that moment as well, you know? And it's like the Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls in the past few years. They've been to the AFC Championship game, I think like the past like 6 years in a row and shit like that. So it's like, they have that pedigree to them. They have like that. They understand the moment and they know like what it takes to get to that next level, whereas the Ravens haven't been there in a while. Lamar Jackson hasn't performed well in the playoffs. So it's like, I don't know. It was just, again, it was one of those games where you just want to see a team that hasn't won in a while beat a team that is just constantly winning, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But again, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce went off for like, I think he had like 6 catches for like 116 yards and like a touchdown. And like, you know, it's going to be hard to beat them if you're letting that dude do that shit. And then the Niners game was fucking crazy as well. My mom's a big ass fucking Niners fan, so obviously I sat and I watched the game with her, and like the beginning of the game was just not good. Like the Lions were just fucking having their way. They scored on their first 2 possessions. The Niners scored as well, but then after that, their offense kind of went cold. Their defense wasn't, playing to the standard that they had played to all year. So it was, again, another one of those like first halves of football where you're like, dude, what the fuck is like going on here? Like, not that the Lions aren't a good team, but it's just like, the Niners have so many weapons on offense. The Niners are super good on fucking defense. Like, they've been to this game a few years in a row. So, again, they understand the moment. Whereas the Lions haven't been to an NFC Championship game in fucking 30 years. So, it's the first time. Their team's fairly young. So, it's like, again, on paper, when you have a team that has that experience versus a team who doesn't, it's like, okay, like the team that is more experienced is obviously going to come out on top. Which obviously did happen in the end. But in the first half, when you have the Lions beating the Niners 24-7. Again, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was a crazy second half. And what was actually also funny was, so I was sitting here watching it with my mom, and we have TV, like we watch it through YouTube TV. So if our Wi-Fi goes out, then the TV fucking stops working, right? So we're watching, shit's not going their way. And then all of a sudden the TV like just starts buffering. And my mom's like, fuck, I think the Wi-Fi went out. And like you can tell, like we have like these little Google Home things around our house, and like there's a little light on the bottom, and when it turns yellow, that means it's disconnected from the Wi-Fi. And then boom, turns yellow. She's like, fuck. Luckily our grandparents live right behind us, right? So she's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go fucking watch this next door. And love my grandpa, but he is a tough person to watch a football game with. He's not he's not the most optimistic Niner fan out there. Okay. So when you have someone like my mom who is very just like die hard. Not that my grandpa isn't, but it's just like a different type of And my mom was like, okay, I guess I'm going to fucking go over there and watch it. And she's like, maybe this is like, the switch up that they need. And sure enough, as soon as she's over there, fucking Brock Purdy throws a bomb downfield, which should have got intercepted, but it bounces off the defender's face mask. And then the receiver dives and catches that ball. Dang, and they end up scoring a touchdown on that drive. So now they cut the lead from like 24-7 to 24-14. They get a field goal. Now they're down by 7. They go down, they get a fumble, they score again. Dang. And it was just like, holy shit. Like, they really, like, they were a team that hadn't done well coming from behind all season up until the divisional round, which when they played the Packers, they were 0-7 when trailing by 7 or more points going into the fourth quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, they were down by 7 points. They ended up coming back and winning that game.
Crazy.
Going into the second half of this game, when they were down by, I think, like more than a certain number of points at halftime, they were 0-30.
Oh, dang.
They come back and they fucking win, And then there was a whole lot of talk the whole season around their quarterback, Brock Purdy, of like, is he a good quarterback? Is he not? Is it the system that he's in? Is it all the weapons out around him? Yeah. And I think, to me, these past 2 games, he really proved that he was a really good quarterback because, like, again, when you're getting into that level of play in the season, it's the NFC, AFC championship game. You're going to play for the Super Bowl. It's like you have to have a certain amount of fucking balls, you have to you have to show a certain like level of like you have to have, maturity
you and like have a good resolve. You can't let that shit get to you.
And he fucking does that, dude. Like, he threw an interception that game, and it's easy to just fall down the slippery slope that is turning the ball over and just consistently turning the ball over after that. And he composed himself. He threw for a touchdown. He ran for first downs when he needed to run. I think he ran for like 52 yards in the second half, which like is pretty nuts for a quarterback that isn't known for freaking running the ball. And they freaking pulled it out, dude.
They also have to thank your mom, bro.
Yeah, they do have to thank my mom. They do.
It sounds like that was a big deal right there.
That shit's so funny too,
because
like,
the time, bro.
Dude, there was like there's like this family that I watched through like Instagram reels that are just kind of funny. They're just like a funny bickering family, and they're big Niner fans too. And like they went to that game, and the dad went and started watching the game somewhere else, and that's when they started fucking winning the game. So I was like, dude, that's so fucking weird that my mom also did that.
I believe in those superstitions to a certain extent. Yeah. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, is it down to like the players like playing the game? Like, yes, of course. But I do believe in like universal vibrations. And so like I have to believe that like there's some positive like force getting sent to them across the waves when somebody like believes in their shit that much. They're like, no, if I do this, they're gonna win. Like that travels, you know, that goes into like them playing over there. That gets into their fucking energy waves and shit like that, bro.
Yeah, but that shit was a fucking crazy game. And yeah, it's gonna be Niners and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's gonna be a fun matchup because the Niners have a really good offense.
They don't play till next month, right?
They play not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yeah, okay. It's like early February.
It usually would have been, I think, this Sunday coming up, but they extended their regular season by a week, therefore extending other things by a week.
Oh, okay.
So it's just gone later into the season. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said, good defensive coordinator who draws up really good schemes versus a head coach / offensive coordinator in the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan that draws up really good offensive schemes. You know, he has like so many different weapons on offense, and I feel like sometimes it can be overwhelming in trying to distribute the ball evenly through all these people to all those different weapons, and like he's done that masterfully the past few years. So it's gonna be a great game. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. I'm not invested, but I do want to see the Niners win, just because like what you were saying earlier, like the whole underdog thing of like the Chiefs have won a few times, right, in the last few years. I don't think the Niners have won in a while, right? Not a Super Bowl. I know they've been there.
They haven't won since... They have 5 Super Bowls, but I don't think they've won since the 90s.
Yeah, so that would be pretty big, too. And, like, there's a lot of Niner fans that I'm sure could use that, too, you know? Like, who have been diehards for so long.
Yeah. It was like... I felt bad for my mom, like, in the beginning, like, the first half, because, like, when shit wasn't going their way, she was like, you know what? Like, if it doesn't work out, like, I'm not going to be super sad.
Yeah, at least
like,
they made it this far.
You know, they made it this far, and like, you know, and her other reason was like, you know, we've lost this game in the past few years, so it's like, kind of gotten used to it, you know. And the fact that they pulled it out, I was like, damn, fuck yeah. Shouts out to her. Shouts out to my mom. Shouts out to the Niners. But yeah, I think they're also going to win the game. My prediction, 20-17, 49ers on top, and they're going to be Super Bowl 58 champions.
Nice.
And yeah, I hope it's a great game like that. But yeah, it was a very fun weekend, very good football, and I was down.
Waiting for the Super Bowl now, baby.
Waiting
for the Super Bowl. Hell yeah. Very nice, very nice. I got into we did this celebration of life thing for like a member of the Teatro that passed away last year, and his family came from like the different places in the country that they're in, but I got to talking with his like one of his great nephews, and we were like exchanging music stuff. And I had like brushed upon it a little bit in the last few months, but some of the stuff he recommended like really put me into it for sure. My like new favorite obsession right now, music wise, has been Japanese city pop.
Oh shit!
From the 70s and 80s.
Hell yeah!
Shit is Gasaroony Dooney, bro.
Dude, I was kind of listening to some type of shit like that, like Japanese, like R&B type shit.
It's pretty fire, honestly. I think The Weeknd, like relatively recently, like within like the last few years, like sampled the song from like a really famous artist of that kind of genre.
I was listening to that song the other day.
Yeah, that one is cool. But yeah, it's like a whole rabbit hole, man. There's so much cool stuff. There's like, it's also been cool because like it's led me to bands who are putting new music out now, who are still kind of doing that kind of vibe too. But you know, obviously mixed in with like a lot more of like the bedroom pop sound and like the really like produced sound. It's not like, I mean, it's still good. I like it. But yeah, man, it's awesome. I love it. It's just like such a good vibe. It's like cool to hear stuff that is like poppy and like could be a radio hit or whatever, but also has like a little bit more like, you know, oomph to it. Like it's a like not crazy complex. It's not like a fucking classical music piece or anything like that, but it's definitely a little bit more. It's got more chords in it than like your standard pop tune would. Or something, you know? And like the different changes and stuff that they do are like super fun. And it's like fucking like Japanese musicians just get down, bro. Like I don't know if it's just like a personal bias thing, because like all of my favorite, like a large chunk of what I listen to for the last like few years is video game music. and most of the time it's the stuff that comes out of Japan. So like I'm obviously very heavily biased.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, dude. There's just something about like Japanese music and like the entertainment stuff that I like to watch. I don't know about it like historically or anything like that. Obviously, that just fucking gets me, bro.
Dude, fuck yeah.
It's so magical. It's so good.
I always think it's just always so interesting to stumble upon music that sounds so similar to like American like pop music, but is like obviously from a different culture.
Yeah.
And how like music translates to, you know, like across like, you know, different cultures and shit like that.
Definitely. I think one of the things is it's like we I don't want to say take for granted, but I think we assume that like our generation and the internet, like, which it did, it like pioneered and pushed forward like the connectivity of the entire world and like, you know, different countries sharing stuff and like at least on an entertainment level. I'm not going to say at a political or anything like that, obviously, but like, you know, with movies and music and like TV shows and streaming and all that stuff, like international fan bases and stuff like that are like things that people pay attention to a lot more. But it's not like the first time it happened either, you know, like some of the first like worldwide televised events were happening in like the late 60s and like the early 70s and stuff like that. So like things were still traveling like around the world back then. It's just like maybe not as fast or whatever. So it like seems like a trip to us now of like, what, how does this sound like that or whatever in the 70s. But I was laughing because like I was telling my sister, I feel like, because a lot of like, I think, well, I'm not going to say a lot, but of what I know, I feel like there's been a good chunk of like rapper hip hop artists that have sampled like that type of pop stuff from American like history of music, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always the old R&B or like soul oldies stuff that they like sit on, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's funny and like honestly kind of a gold mine for artists who are coming up nowadays to be like, well, there's a whole like untapped pool of basically that exact same vibe just from Japan.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all, like what's his name sampled it, right? The Weeknd for that one. And it's not like that beat right there reminds me very heavily of like classic hip hop shit, you know?
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah, that's just like a whole untapped pool for like people who want to sample stuff, like remixes, whatever it might be. But yeah.
I just wonder how like, I just wonder what the like, because obviously like anyone can like take a song and like sample it and stuff like that, but to like put it out to like make money, I wonder what like what the legal hoops you have to jump through when it's like someone from a completely different culture where like the music rules and stuff like that are probably completely different, you know?
Yeah, from what I heard and from what I've seen on the credits, that I cannot remember her name, I apologize, but the original artist, like he did work with her at the very least to get the like rights to it and whatnot. But yeah, that is, I'm sure, probably kind of crazy because from what I've heard as well, Japan handles like a lot of their laws a lot differently than we do. Like I think, if I'm not mistaken, things are pretty cutthroat, harsh, like to the point, you know? But yeah, I mean, you're right. Anybody can do it, but as long as you're not trying to make money off of it, then it doesn't really matter. Like maybe it'll get taken down off of YouTube or something like that for copyright, but you're not going to get in trouble. Like unless you try to make money off of it, that's when they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that fool, any artist in that sphere probably doesn't even have to worry about that. Like I'm sure if like an artist of his level like is like, ooh, I like this, I want to use it for a sample, his team probably handles that for him, you know? He's just probably working in the studio, and I'm sure all of his legal people and then the legal people involved with the other artist as well are making that happen, which is like cool, I guess, because then they don't have to focus on it, but also super ridiculously inaccessible for anybody else.
Yeah.
Because like we don't have lawyers to like consult whoever if we wanted to like use something for like a theme song or, you know, like, or if we wanted to like, if we were monetizing videos and we like wanted to do commentaries on movies and stuff, like how the fuck are we gonna reach out to like WB to ask about like, hey, can we monetize our Harry Potter video, you know? Like that's probably just not gonna happen.
We just fucking do it, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I think
do it.
You just have to do the loopholes, right? Which is like you can only share like certain amount of the actual like video clips like before you get demonetized. That's what I have seen all the time on the commentary channels that like I have followed before. There's this one that I liked for a long time called Pretty Much It.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's like 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, because their videos would be about 20 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just be like cut chunks of them like speeding through the movie, and then their whole deal was like, you know, subscribe to the Patreon and you can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
You basically, I think you just download the commentary and
you sync it up with
with the movie. Yeah, which is cool. That's fun.
Yeah, I always watch like The Real Rejects. They do that shit a lot.
Yeah.
There's actually this chick that's been got pretty popular the past like couple years or so. Her name's like KL or something like that. She did a lot of like because she had never watched like Marvel movies before, so she like went through all of them like in order, and people were liking that. She did like all the Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah,
because she's never seen any of like the major like pop culture fucking things or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah. It's fun to see somebody react to it for the first time in this day and age.
And she's good because she like reacts to it, and then she like does like a commentary after of like what she thought.
That's cool.
And it's very just like she sits there and like just writes down for like a minute of like shit that she like thoughts. Is thinking of, and then she just like shares it. I'm always like, oh,
that's cool,
nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, Picasso.
I like it a lot. All right, I bought something from the fucking store that I've been interested in buying, but I haven't, and I did today because I saw they had more flavors, and I was like, fuck it.
This is the surprise.
We're gonna try it.
Let's do it. What is it?
Because I know
some drinks.
The homie likes his Dragon Ball.
Oh, what?
So we have some Dragon Ball related, fucking.
Are these cannabis or are they?
No, they're just like,
energy drinks.
Just sparkling waters.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So I was just like
Goku Black, Super Saiyan God. Oh, nice. Little Super Saiyan Gohan.
These were the flavors that sounded the most appealing. Because there's
sick.
Orange. I think that one's what?
White grape.
White grape.
Yeah, this is melon.
Yeah, and this one's peach.
Hell yeah, dude. These are tight as fuck. I love them.
You can choose one. You can try it.
Damn, okay. I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to try this melon one over here.
All right.
Partly because I'm down with the flavor, and also because I'm just really liking this color combo right here.
Dude, it's so sick,
yeah,
right?
I like the pink and the like greenish teal, whatever you call that.
I think I'm gonna do the white grape. I think
Gohan.
Yeah.
The most, well, I don't know anymore, but was at one point supposed to be the strongest Z fighter. I think he kind of is again right now. I was just reading an article on that. I do not read the manga. Let me clarify right now, but my algorithm knows that I love Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So all of my like Google recommended stuff, whenever there's a new issue, there will be like a synopsis of it. So like I read those like every like couple of months or whatever, and like catch up on stuff. But yeah, apparently from what they've been talking about in like super recently, the beast form is stronger than Ultra Instinct, like an Ultra Ego and all that stuff. Like Gohan has the potential to become the strongest again, which I'm fucking down for.
I like it because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, my boy Gohan got fucking shafted, bro. Like,
oh yeah,
big time, honestly. And I know everybody was pissed off about that, obviously, but like Cell Saga is like probably the most heavy duty like influence on like Dragon Ball stuff for me, because that was like when I was growing up, that was the main event. Like
that shit's so crazy because like the whole Cell Saga, you have like even like the Majin Vegeta fucking. Oh wait, no, that's later. That's later.
Yeah.
That's Boo actually. No,
but
you have like
Super Vegeta. Trunks is there.
Yeah.
Like you have the androids the entire time. Yeah.
Let's try these.
That's bomb. That's ocean bomb.
That's actually really fucking good.
Yeah, it tastes good.
I thought it was not going to taste good.
No, it's really tasty, actually. I like it. It's like, I feel like it's not, with flavored sparkling waters, sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of them because it's like, it feels like the flavor you wanted like farted in your fucking drink like 10 years ago, and it's like barely a hint of that like flavor left.
Dude, God damn it.
You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
It's like bad. It's not bad, but it's like, fuck, I want a little bit more of that taste, you know?
It's like, yeah.
This is good. This has a good, yeah.
Because I remember like back in the day, like the sparkling waters like tasted just like a soda, you know?
Yeah.
Because that was before they like, everyone was like, holy shit, this shit's actually like not good for you.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And then then it's like hints of the flavor now.
Yeah.
And I think, to be fair, sometimes they do specify they're like, hint of lime or like hint of this or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I don't want a hint though, motherfucker.
But they don't say I farted in this freaking drink. That shit's funny, dude. That's the funniest fucking.
That flavor farted in the drink.
Yeah,
and then they bottled
so
it.
funny.
They made the sparkling water, and then that was it. That's how they got the flavor in there. Now these
I'm
are
actually
good.
so down. I'm also like, why do they carry these at Windmill?
At Win, I don't know. I think that like
Why out of all the things they're like, you know what? These fucking Dragon Ball Z
are gonna be there.
sparkling waters, we're gonna fucking
They also have these crazy. I've bought them there before. They have these energy drinks called G Fuels.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
video game characters on
Yeah.
them too. They have like a Sonic one. I've seen a Mega Man there. Like crazy shit. Yeah.
Well, like I feel like G Fuel's definitely like a more established
That's true.
energy drink
Yeah,
like brand.
yeah.
Cause that's been like ever since I've been watching like gaming content since I was like
Yeah, that's
in
right,
middle
yeah.
school. Like all the gamers have been like, hey man, I have this G Fuel
Yeah.
flavor.
'Cause
What's up,
that's-
guys? It's Nate Shot. Make sure you go in to the link down below. Enter in code NADESH to get 10% off
Yeah.
your G Fuel order. And yeah, make sure you get my flavor. What flavor would he have? Like blue raspberry.
Yeah, something.
I feel like he's just like, yeah, pretty basic like that. Like, yeah,
Pomegranate.
give me a go get my blue raspberry flavor
Yeah.
because it helps me out here on the channel. And
Yeah.
yeah, guys.
I was gonna say because they're fucking sponsored, bro. That's why they probably got pushed so hard. Because that was like the only thing that would pair up with gamers. Was like, I don't know, what the fuck. We can't do gaming shoes. Like, what the fuck? Like, I guess energy drinks are good. Gamers need energy drinks, right?
Dude, once esports like becomes like a big ass thing, like there's gonna be like a fucking Optic Scump shoe deal. Like he's gonna have like a shoe deal with fucking like Nike.
I could see it. Like, I think, I don't know if it would be like as widespread as like, you know, like I'm not gonna say every single athlete gets like a shoe deal, but like that's a common thing among like professional athletes, right? Is it's like you end up pairing up with probably either like shoes or like some kind of like water or Gatorade thing, right? Like
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think everyone gets like signature shoes.
no,
But I think you definitely get like sponsored and you'll
Yeah,
be
you
like a
get
Nike
deals.
athlete,
Yeah.
you'll be an Adidas athlete.
exactly, yeah,
You'll be a fucking
yeah.
Lululemon is making noise in like the golf scene.
See, okay, that because those things make sense to me because in basketball you need to wear athletic shoes, right? In golf you need to be comfortable and relaxed, so it makes sense that Lululemon would like maybe be in on that shit. But like that's why I think it'd be ridiculous. I would laugh my ass off, and if it was like a gamer that I loved, like sure you could sucker me into buying some fucking shoes, but
If
it
they
makes
looked
no
cool, if they
fucking
looked hella
sense.
cool too, bro. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
But it makes zero sense.
Like gamers are the new skaters, bro. Like not in the sense that like
no way,
not-
skaters are still the skaters, bro.
I mean skaters are still the skaters, but in the sense that like we're gaming is gaining that popularity,
Yeah.
and people are like, oh yeah, like
I think honestly,
Scump.
I would
love
be-
Scump. Like people talk about Scump, like people talked about like Tony Hawk, or like people talk about Tony Hawk. You know?
I want to see. I mean, I if there's a because the thing that's like weird about, well, I guess it's not weird because in professional sports there's a lot of different like games
Uh-huh.
as well, right? You're watching football and basketball, and golf and hockey and soccer and all these different things. So it's not ridiculously crazy. But one of the things that I think makes it more inaccessible is like how many different games there are in the like professional gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
Is like you have so many different realms. There's like first person shooter stuff, right? And they're like probably playing like some Call of Duty or like CS:GO or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
there's
platform fighters.
yeah, like those are the best. I was gonna
Yeah.
say the ones, if anything could get popular in terms of like professional video games, like competitions and stuff like that, I would fucking love if people got down on some fighting game shit. Because
I
that
think
shit's
Rocket
beautiful.
League too. Like if Rocket League, like if people could sit
People
down
would
and
be
watch
down
Rocket
for
League,
that easily though, because
That's crazy.
just soccer with rocket powered cars.
great. It's
No,
fucking
yeah,
great.
that's exactly right. Yeah, but that's why I also like watching fighting stuff because like I'm not a big fan of like boxing or like any MMA martial arts stuff because
Mhm.
like it's just a little bit too intense for me. Like, do I like to see somebody pull a crazy combo in real life? Yes, I do because I like action stuff and it looks really cool. But it's kind of a hardcore like double thing when then you see the guy afterwards and he's like bleeding from like 7 different spots on his face. It's like, oh, that's a human being who just got his shit wrecked. Like,
Damn.
that's a little intense, you know? But like when I'm watching a video game of it, it's the same crazy, cool, flashy combos, and I'm like, it's fucking Goku versus Vegeta on like Fighter Z or whatever, you know? It doesn't matter.
I would love like they should make like ESPN the Ocho like an actual fucking like I think to some extent like it is or like there is like an iteration of something like that, but like make an ESPN specific channel for like all the like professional esports and stuff like that, because you have like in like Call of Duty now, right? Like you have like Atlanta fucking this, you have fucking California this, Texas fucking this, you know, and I think that'd be fucking tight.
I do think, unless I'm misunderstanding what the official and like actual meaning and definition of like a sport is, I have always thought it's kind of funny to call it esports. Like I think they would maybe get more like traction if they went the other way, because like the main thing that I remember growing up when esports is like becoming as big as it was, like because like it's been growing for like a very long time, even before like we were teenagers and stuff like that, but like that's when I started to like come into it and like see it as a real thing. Is like I remember that was the big thing of conversation, was like, well, it's not a sport, like they're sitting down at chairs and stuff like that. And like I'm not gonna sit here and rag on it or anything, but I do also understand it to a certain extent, because like again, I might be misunderstanding what it means to be a sport. Like maybe to classify as a sport, it just needs to be some sort of competitive like something or other. Yeah. But I get it. In my head, I also associate sports with like physical activity, like running around or like jumping and doing shit, you know? So like
I think that's where just like the E comes in, like electronic.
I know, but I think it's just hilarious because it's like even then it's like it's not always like sometimes there's esports for weird shit, you know, like fucking.
I think it's just like I think it's just catchy for like the most part. Like it just rolls off the tongue good, and it's just like when you say esports, you're like, oh okay, like
I get it, yeah. Gamers, yeah.
But yeah, I would love to turn on like an ESPN channel and there'd be like competitive like Smash Bros. You know,
those are
like, oh fuck.
Honestly, bro, there's some of the like craziest hype moments that I've ever seen, like clips of and stuff, have been from like video game fights and stuff like that. People are fucking crazy, bro. Like they get, it's a little bit ridiculous. I will say I have a hard time like going full support sometimes, because I'm like, damn, it's kind of crazy to me that like, I mean, good on them, right? Because like that's what they do for a living and shit, but it's kind of crazy to me that like fools are spending hours and hours and hours a week like training in like Smash Bros or something, you know?
I wish I could do that.
It would be awesome, but and I again, like I'm kind of like, all right, that's crazy. But then I see two people fight each other who have spent that much time training, and it's like, oh, this looks like an anime fight. Like this is like on a whole nother level of like what I play. I play Smash Bros and I like there's like a funny meme that I saw where it's like, are you casual good or are you like actually good at Smash? Which is like, you can be casual good and like maybe you beat like some of your friends and like your little siblings and stuff like that, but you're not actually good because people are crazy like on those games and shit. They know how to do ridiculous stuff.
I think some of that is also people just being good at like video games. Like I know people that are like just good at video games. Definitely. Like it doesn't matter like what it is, but once they like mentally in their brain they can figure it out, like that shit clicks, like they're just fucking good.
They lock in.
Yeah. And so like I think part of it is just like that, like them, like something in their brain is just like, oh, I fucking get this. Yeah. And like my hand-eye coordination is just insane.
There's definitely like a good chunk of like the generations that are growing up in the video game eras, I think, that like have a different language that's just built into them that like gives you like at least like an easier access point. Like if you're really like that like just tuned into that shit, then yeah, it could for sure give you an advantage. But that was one of the things that like I thought was so interesting. I saw a video on it recently of like you take, or like people who play games like regularly all the time, or like regularly or semi-regularly or whatever, understand the language of video games. But to somebody who's never played before and like you hand them a controller, it's not gonna be like second nature to know how to like move with the left stick and then look around with the right stick.
Yeah.
Like even something as simple as that, that's like, yeah, that's just how you get around games. What do you mean? Like that's the base level stuff. That's not super intuitive if you haven't been playing video games like your entire life.
Yeah.
So like it's a trip, honestly, like how like not like there's like a heavy bar to entry because like anybody can learn how to play video games, obviously, but it can be off-putting, especially with how like insane shit is now. Like you drop into something like Spider-Man and like if you've never played a game before, it would probably be very overwhelming.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of shit.
You're not gonna know what's going down.
No, like you're probably gonna eat shit like trying to swing the first time or whatever, you know, like very, very overwhelming because things have been built upon like this language that is like, you know, regular to gamers, but sort of starting to stretch into like more less and less accessible, right, for anybody who comes to the new stuff because of like how advanced they want to get with shit. Which is, I mean, I think that's why like a lot of casual gamers are like probably still like on Nintendo, right? Because like you have your Super Marios and your Mario Karts and your Sonics where like, okay, there's 3 buttons. It's move this way, jump, and then the boost or like something, you know, and it's like super simple.
Yeah, but I also think something like The Last of Us like role playing game would be like easier for someone to grasp than like than like a Spider-Man for sure. Like,
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I think there is just like a wider spectrum of like games that are definitely like, so it just depends. Like there's like super simple games out there where like my homie Nico shows me like all the times like these random games where like there's this one where you're just like a fucking ball and there's this like whole landscape built around you and like you're this ball that like is sticking, like picks things up, and your objective.
Katamari.
Yeah, it's your objective is literally just like to get bigger.
Big ball.
Yeah, and like I'm just like, damn, this is such a good game, but it's like, you know, it's so simple. So like it's a general like thing, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, I want it to be more, or I guess I should say like less stigmatized. Like not that like it's as hardcore as it used to be, because again, like when I was a kid, I remember it was like, oh, if you play video games, like that's why mass shootings are happening and stuff like that. You know, like it was hardcore for a little quick second of it. Not that like gamers are heavily persecuted. I'm not trying to say that, but I do wish there was like an easier like access point to some of the bigger, more complex games, because like those are some of, if not the most like influential and like awesome experiences of like entertainment that I have had in my life. Because I mean, I've talked about this before, but like to me video games are on a whole nother level because of the simple fact of agency. Like you're in control of like what's happening in the story.
Yeah,
so the things are happening to you rather than like the person that you're watching on screen. Like you're like vicariously, obviously, right? Like you're not, it's not like VR, you're not like in the game or anything like that, but like yeah, man, some like shit's epic, bro. I mean, we've talked about it. I'll take a Spider-Man or a Spider-Man 2 over any of the movies, honestly. Like the first Spider-Man game is my favorite Spider-Man story.
Damn.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been like playing Call of Duty this like less and less because like I get on and I'm just like, fuck, I'm just not good at this shit anymore. I just like, I want to be like, I wish I could play at the level that I want to play at, you know, but it's just like, fuck, I'm not, bro.
Well, I think the other thing too is,
and the skill gap in that shit is honestly so big.
That's what
sometimes I was gonna say, because it's like a lot of it now is like movement and like this little shit you can do, and like everyone knows that shit. Where like it used to be like, you know, if you're a hardcore gamer, like you knew that shit, but like the hardcore gamer is like population is growing and growing.
Oh yeah, big
where
time.
Like you know, when it was like Modern Warfare 2 and like Black Ops 2, it was definitely like easier to just like sit down and like have fun.
Yeah.
But like now everyone's just fucking good at the game.
The other thing
and I'm
too,
just like, fuck, dude.
The other thing too that like I've come to terms with like online games and stuff like that, because like everything that the same thing that happens to me every time I jump into like a competitive multiplayer game is like my first couple games will be great, but then the like algorithm will kick in to like filter you into like your skill level, and I immediately start getting my shit wrecked.
Yeah.
And like I always go back to like, okay, well, I'm not playing this nearly as much as I would when I was a kid, or even as I would when I was a kid. Because like when I was in high school, I would get home and probably like neglect to do my homework and like hop on right away.
Yeah.
And play for like fucking 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Yeah.
So like I was practicing all the time versus like now I can't play a competitive multiplayer game for like more than like an hour, maybe like 2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing too, is it's like you're just not playing as much as like you used to be able to when you were a kid, you know?
No. Yeah,
Like everybody, like people have like either make time for that because like that is their job now. They like stream or, you know, like that's such an accessible way to like get internet like fame or something or whatever. Like I feel like it's pretty easy to like start a stream as long as you're like kind of funny and like somewhat charming, or even if you're like an asshole and people want to see that instead, you can basically play anything and just put your face on the corner and people will probably subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to be like somewhat interesting. Like
Yeah, it's still a personality thing, right? But like
yeah,
it's super easy to just jump in and play and just make some money, get people to donate to you or something, you know. Crazy shit.
Yeah, that's fucking true.
'Tis a whole world now.
Maybe I should just like stream how bad I am at video games and just be like, fuck.
Well,
and
that's
just like cuss all the time.
That's the thing, right? Is it's like the internet and people just want everything now. So like practically anything you do, there's probably going to be a fan base for it out there, you know? Like as long as you do it consistently and like at a high enough quality, somebody's going to end up latching onto that shit, you know, and be down with it. It'll filter into the algorithm.
Yes, did you see that freaking we got a Supergirl casting?
Yeah, I'm not like super bummed about it, but I saw the last two girls that they had, and I just look wise, I thought the other girl looked more like Supergirl to me, like Millie Alcock, I think that's her name, right? It's fucking what's her name from House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I forget what her name is.
She just like has, I don't know, maybe because I was exposed to her first in House of the Dragon is why I'm having this thought, but like she just has like such a fantasy like mythic princess look to me. And like Supergirl's an alien, but I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't, she doesn't look like, I feel like in my mind, and maybe this is just like whitewashed shit that has happened over all the years. I mean, Supergirl was always white, but like she's just like a plain looking like blonde white girl.
Yeah, I was always like, I mean, I'm down because I like her in House of the Dragon.
She's a good actor.
Yeah, I was just like a little, because isn't Supergirl technically like older than Superman? Or is she not?
Yeah, but so what happens is that Supergirl is Kal-El's older cousin, and Krypton is about to explode, but Brainiac basically like bottles Kara's city in time, and so Clark Kent grows up on Earth and all that stuff and gets older than her, and then frees the city from Brainiac, but they're frozen in time where they were at. So like, yeah, technically Kara Zor-El is older than Kal-El because she was born before him, but because of like the time travel shenanigans, she's always his like apprentice of sorts.
Okay.
Because he's been Superman for longer, like because she was stuck in time.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I wasn't like super ecstatic, but I was just like, okay, like
she's a good actor.
I like her House of the Dragon.
Yeah, if they make it like I could see them. I don't want them to copy anything or anything like that, but like if it has some Man of Steel-esque vibes where it's like a more like introspective superhero thing, I think she could be super good because like she's a really good actor from what I've seen her in that show. Yeah,
I'm also interested to see her in such like a different role, you know? Like
I just hope they don't give her like cuz like it would again like she's I think established herself as like a young and upcoming like dramatic actor.
Yeah.
I would hate to see her get saddled with like a bunch of cheesy superhero lines like with her like another of her very early things that's going to be super popular, you know. Not that it's like a bad thing, but like, you know, that's a rough thing right there.
I don't think James Gunn would do that. I don't think he would like make her just like be like, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
funny superhero quip.
I mean, they're not bad by any means, but they're also not like non-existent in the Guardians, you know.
Oh yeah,
like it's definitely part of his thing. So like maybe they'll be funny, but like yeah, I you never know, you know.
That's true.
In the superhero genre, sometimes they're hit or miss.
Yeah.
The jokes can either be real funny or they could be real bad.
Yeah. Did you see the live action Avatar trailer?
Yeah, that
Dude,
I'm super hyped for.
I'm
That
so
looks
fucking
insanely
excited
good,
for that.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very hopeful that it continues to break the cycle of like anime to live action adaptations like not being good, because
Yeah,
like
One Piece was good.
One Piece was really good.
I haven't
and,
watched it yet, but I've heard it's good.
yeah, and I hope we get the. Also, I hope live action Avatar gets to redeem itself, because
Yeah.
the original one was just so
Yeah, the
fucking
movie
terrible.
was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Ang Lee, I think, made it, right? Oh no, M Night Shyamalan made it. Yeah, just super weird. That dude's got like a real 50-50 like percentage when it comes to movies. But yeah, I'm super hyped. That was one that I watched like pretty recently. I watched all of original Avatar, and then I watched all of Korra
Yeah.
in like probably the last like 3 years, I think. Maybe like last 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And like instantly became one of like my new favorites.
So good, dude.
It really is. Like honestly, it's just the main thing that I appreciate about it. At least the first series. Korra is also still really good, but I think Avatar is
better for sure.
Much better, because it's tight. Like it's not this ongoing. As much as I love Dragon Ball, like that shit just goes forever, and sometimes you have filler. Even with One Piece, or even with like things like Naruto, right?
Yep.
Like there's just filler. There's a bunch of bullshit all the fucking time that you don't want to watch. But like Avatar is tight. I think there's maybe like 20 episodes in each season, and there's only 3 seasons.
Yep.
And like practically none of it is wasted. Like, so that's, I think, what makes it the most appealing to me. Like, it's not a traditional anime, but it's definitely anime inspired, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see like, you know, how all the different types of bending styles get portrayed, like as I'm watching like the episodes, you know, because like
they look good so far.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's easy to put like all your best looking ones like in the trailers,
definitely.
You know, and like
the main thing that I want to see them do right is the like practical uses of bending. I think that was one of the things that was like, after having seen the show and remembering the movie, that's one of the things that's like missing for me. Is it's like, it's awesome, and they are these really great awesome action set pieces, right? But like the Water Tribe is also just like making ice cubes or some shit in the corner with like water bending, or like, you know what I mean, like simple shit like that too, that I want to see. Like just like the regular everyday, because they're like Naruto-esque, right? And like there's like the villages that are surrounded around their specific bending technique. Like that's the crux of their entire like society.
Yeah.
So like I want to see the culture part of it like built into it more, because like that was what's so exciting about going from like book to book in the show too. It's like how vastly different every season is, because like they're thrust into a whole new land of shit, and Aang has to learn like an entire new style of bending too. And it's just so cool. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. When is that pretty soon that shit comes out?
I think it starts in like late February, like the 22nd or something like that. Yeah. So it's coming up probably like 3 weeks or so.
Damn.
If it's not late February, I think it's early March. So
Damn.
yeah, it's not very far at all.
I'm ready. I'm excited for
Very
that.
excited, yeah.
Abbott Elementary is coming out. I'm excited for that shit.
Pretty nice.
And yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for a lot of shit. But shall we get into our freaking movies, man? Shall we get into these freaking...
I'm going to go hit the restroom now.
Hit the loo,
Yeah, I'm going to hit the loo. I like that one. What are we going to start with?
I say we start with My Bodyguard.
Okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. And end on the classic. I wanted to ask, I'm going to ask this now. Did you read The Outsiders?
I was probably supposed to in school at some point, but I definitely didn't.
Okay, neither did I. And I'm going to say this now because I know we'll get into it later. I think it heavily affected my viewing of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, but we'll get into it later. Okay. We'll talk about My Bodyguard first.
My freaking Bodyguard. This was a fucking interesting movie. I almost didn't know what to like make of it like by the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a very, very simple movie.
Yeah, it's very simple.
About, like, hey, bullies suck, and if they're gonna keep harassing you, beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
like,
beat the shit out of them. Have friends that have your back. And yeah, this is a movie I had for sure never heard of. So, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that I don't even think I mentioned it, that this is freaking 2 After TV, where two guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV. I gotta get freaking so much better at doing that right in the beginning, but I like the, just getting into the podcasting, I like just getting into it. But yes, this is 2 After TV, where two guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and the man that just went to the bathroom and we'll be back in a minute, his name is Daniel. Basically what we do every single week is we sit down, we pick a couple shows, pick a couple movies, and we just talk about them. We also talk about everyday life shit. We also talk about some shit that we've just seen. We just talk about kind of like whatever, shit that's going on. And yeah, today we have a special episode, something that we pretty recently thought up. Definitely, I think, like right before 2023 ended, or if not, like the beginning of 2024. But yes, we do have fathers. And they also like watching movies, and they obviously have their favorite movies, and they always tell us to watch movies. So we decided, hey, one day we're gonna have an episode where I ask my dad what movie to watch, and Daniel's gonna ask his dad what movie to watch. And this is that freaking episode. This is my dad's choices.
Probably just the first of
the first of many.
The first volume.
The first volume. We could also do like my mom's choices. Definitely. We could do my sister's choices.
Yeah, totally.
Because I also have a sister and you have a sister.
That is true. We have very similar immediate family dynamics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could also do my grandpa's choices.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down for
my
that.
my grandpa likes watching like a lot of like old Western.
Oh,
like,
I'd
movies.
be super down. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, but yeah, this is my dad's choices, everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about My Bodyguard. This is Daniel's dad's choice.
Yes, my father. Yeah, I really liked it. It's Kevin Dillon, Adam Baldwin.
Matt Dillon, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. Kevin Dillon is from Entourage. My bad. I like him more than I like Matt Dillon. To be perfectly honest with you, but
hey, he's in both of these movies, man.
Yeah, I know. I was laughing because I told my dad, I was like, dude, Ryan is gonna love this shit because every time we somehow accidentally get like the same actor or like some kind of like connection between them, and somehow you and his dad fucking did the same shit.
Is this the year where Matt Dillon is gonna be like our favorite actor of the year? Last year it was freaking
Last year it was definitely Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Nah, dude, I'm gonna go. I want Marky Mark, dude.
Did you hear that?
I did, yeah. I heard some bzzz, bzzz, but very loudly. Nah, I'll take Marky Mark, bro, instead.
Oh, it's my grandpa.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like I liked him more in Outsiders, but in this one I just could not stand him, and just like in general, I don't know. He just like kind of always plays the asshole to me.
Yeah.
With stuff that I've seen him in. So like I'm just like, all right, yeah, I don't like you then. Like, I mean, it's a testament to how good of an actor he is for sure. But because I'm sure he's like at least a somewhat decent guy. But I just can't do it, dude. I do not like Matt Dillon. Love Kevin Dillon. He's hilarious. I don't know if you've seen Entourage before, but like I love him in that. But anyways, yeah, My Bodyguard. Super, super simple concept of a movie, right? Not trying to go too out there or be too complex. It's basically just new kid in school is like
Clifford Peach.
Yeah, Clifford Peach. Good name. Is getting bullied like pretty immediately because he has like a mouth on him, He's not like your typical nerdy character. I think he's like a little bit more like rash and like,
Well, I mean, he came from a private school.
Yeah, I guess that's true as well. But even still, like, he talks a lot of shit, like, for being the bullied kid, Which I think is fun. Like, I like that because I think a lot of the times it's, like, easy to make a movie like this and just have it be, like, the quiet kid or whatever and stuff. So, like, I don't know. I don't want to say, like, it makes more sense, but, like, it makes more sense that, like, a bully at the school would like zero in on the kid because like he's fucking talking mad shit to him and like hell embarrassing him and stuff like that. He's not just like a nerdy kid who happens to get bullied because he's new or something, So
he's just getting bullied because he's new.
Well, no, yeah, but he's also being a dick. Like, is it funny because the other guy's a dick? Like, yeah, for sure. But he's like hella talking shit, Like he's not like sitting there just like minding his own business or anything. So like that part I liked about it more is it's like, all right, he's like a more brave, like, nerdy character, I think, than, like, a typical, like, bullied kid in this type of movie.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like just starts getting bullied. There's like rumors of like this scary kid Linderman who like everybody is freaked out about because it's
He
like
killed somebody.
yeah, that he like shot somebody, that like he fucking killed them in cold blood, like fucking beat up a cop or something. Like there's all these crazy
Raped
stories
somebody.
about him. Yeah, raped a teacher, like crazy shit, right? And so like even the main bully is freaked out by this guy. And so as the movie goes on and he gets bullied more and more,
By Melvin Moody.
Melvin Moody, also a good name. Good
Yeah.
names in the movie for sure. Cliff fucking decides like, well, I'm just gonna ask the most scary kid in school to be my bodyguard.
Yeah.
And like say fuck this kid because he is also a piece of shit who's extorting kids from their lunch money and shit. Like
Yeah.
for a so-called protective fee. Like yeah, so like super simple concept. Doesn't really try to do anything like fancy. I think it doesn't try to have like any intense deeper meaning to like the main part of the story. There's certainly like a reveal that's like pretty heavy, I think, for like the way that the rest of the movie goes, which like is cool. It's good. I liked it. But for the most part, yeah, I just enjoyed it being like a simple, solid hour 30, whatever, like hour 40, like 80s movie about like bullying and overcoming bullies, you know?
Yeah. And it's like being nice to people. You don't know what the fuck people are going through.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I liked it, man. It was cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, like made me laugh a lot of times. There's certainly some outdated parts in there that are like pretty pervy, like whenever they're like fucking spying on the fucking ladies in the thing and stuff.
So crazy. And the dad's like, yeah, let me fucking look.
Yeah, which is terrible. But like movies just did that back then a lot, as we've come to know. Like most of the movies that we have reviewed from like pre-80s or pre-90s, I guess.
Yep.
Maybe even in the 90s have like something like this in them. But I thought it was funny. Like it had me laughing at like different moments. I thought it was charming. I really like the actor who plays Linderman. His name's Adam Baldwin. I first got exposed to him from a show called Firefly. That's really good.
Okay.
But this was his debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
because it does say
interesting.
introducing Adam Baldwin on this. So it's cool to see him in his first acting role as well. I thought he did pretty good for his first time, especially being like such a kid. He looks really young in this. But yeah, I thought all the actors did a good job. Again, I enjoyed like the super like simple story of it all.
Yeah.
And like I thought everybody was charming. Uma Thurman's in this movie. Or no, sorry, not Uma Thurman. Joan Cusack is in this movie, like in super small bits, but she's like the like nerdy girl kind of.
Yeah.
Like who's like a part of the gang and stuff like that. But yeah, I was thinking about it right now actually when I was in the bathroom, and like not so much in terms of like the setting or how the story plays out or anything, but like thematically the two movies are also somewhat similar because it's kind of like about, you know, the outside group of people banding together and stuff and things like that or whatever. This is certainly more of like a lighthearted take on it than The Outsiders is, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like in your typical high school like bully movie kind of shit or whatever, you know, they overcome the bully and whatnot and everything's fine and dandy in the end.
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty good as well. Wasn't like my favorite movie for sure, but I was just like, yeah, I was pretty down. Like you said, it was like very simple. It was very charming. It was definitely, you know, pretty heartwarming, especially once you learn like, you know, the trauma that, you know, Linderman has and stuff like that.
He actually did kill somebody. He fucking accidentally shot his brother, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I liked it. I liked a lot of like the camera work, like especially like the opening shot when like you're just following him like through the city as he's like riding his bike and stuff like that. I thought it was really good.
Long shots were cool. Like when Linderman's like running away after he gets bullied by the big guy, and they like show the long one of him going across the bridge. Yeah, I was kind of laughing, but at the same time too, I was like, this is a good shot though. Like this is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely liked a lot of like the different settings. You know, we had like the hotel, we had the school, we had his city that he was in, and we had
like the backstreet area or whatever.
Exactly.
Like
Linderman
lives at.
Exactly. Like definitely more like the low income type of.
That's
like
true.
area,
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. There is a lot of different locations for sure.
And yeah, I thought like a lot of the supporting characters were pretty funny as well. Like Moody's like band of like fucking
goons.
like little bag of goons was pretty funny. The homie, what was his name? Curtis, like the little blonde white kid.
Oh yeah, he was funny
was freaking pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
he was a good little sidekick character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like when fucking Linderman first comes and helps out fucking Clifford when he's just fucking getting fucked on by freaking like Moody and his gang or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see Moody gets all fucking scared or whatever, and then Clifford comes over and he's like, hey, yeah, blah, 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 and just fucking flips him off.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude, fuck that little fool, bro.
I was gonna say, that was the one thing that, like, I think this movie really has going for it is there is a really annoying, terribly awful bully in the movie. Like, Matt Dillon does a great job of playing the villain in this movie, I think. Like, he's super, super good, and you absolutely hate Moody. He's a, like, little shit. But they have so many moments where they, like, get one over on him.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, the back and reverse. So, like, I think that's, like, the appealing part of it is, like, there's, like, almost this back and forth. It's like a war between them where it's, like, they keep one-upping each other until it's, like, the final fight at the end or whatever.
Yeah, that final fight was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's just, like, I liked it because, like, I thought it was a lot more real than, like, a typical final fight in, like, a movie like this, right? Like, I feel like a lot of the times they'll make it very cinematic and, like, super choreographed. And it's like, all right, high school kids are, like, busting out martial arts moves all of a sudden or whatever, versus, like, these kids are just fucking wailing on each other, dude.
They're
like,
just fucking throwing haymakers and shit like
it's
that.
fucking funny. Missing and shit, like, fucking
I think it's funny when they
punches.
get to fight and they're just like, Moody's just like, yeah, man. Like,
fucking all fucking, ha, see, come here, let me give you a whopper.
It was also, I was just like, why? How did Moody hire this dude Mike that's like a fucking grown man?
I think it was probably them trying to pull the wool over on us and being like, oh, he's a big senior, but, like, dude was for sure a full-grown adult.
He was a full-grown
like, compared to everybody
adult.
else. Yeah.
And what's he doing hanging out with these kids?
Yeah.
But yeah, that where I was just like, that was the only moment where I was like, let me know, like, this adult is just picking on this fucking kid. Like,
it was also the 80s. Could have been completely different. It was completely different times, you know? Who knows?
Very true. Because, like, yeah, I was also like, dang, why doesn't anyone talk to this just, like, Linderman guy? Like,
yeah, well,
like,
that's
no teachers ever talked to him.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever, like, tried to talk to him about, like, hey, man, maybe you got some trauma going on. But obviously, again, it's the 80s. People aren't thinking about that
I was
shit.
going to say, there's, like, even a bit in this movie, which, again, I think was, like, very real from what I understand, where the principal even tells, what's his name, right? Because, like, I think Peach kind of, like, the Clifford Peach, right? Like, he gets it, like, he knows he's the new kid from the private school and, like, is trying to, like, lay low, right? But fucking his dad, like, calls the principal, like, the first or second day that he's there, and it, like, obviously causes trouble for him. He's like, don't fucking do that anymore, bro.
Yeah.
But, like, even the principal, right, when he's walking him out, is like, hey, man, like, you're the new kid on the block, like, I get it, whatever. He's like, but try not to have your fucking daddy call me, yeah, bro? Like, just take it like a man, basically,
So,
like, telling him. But again, like, this is a culture and a time period where, like, it was normal for seniors to, like, make fucking paddles in wood shop class to go fucking smack freshmen on the ass and shit as, like, hazing, you know? Like, that was a real fucking thing. And,
Dazed
like,
and confused.
yeah, but, like, that was actually just, like, real back then. And, like, kids really did get shoved into garbage cans and, like, into lockers and shit. Like,
That's what I was just like, dude, let me know, like, this bully is just terrible.
yeah,
like,
no,
let
bullies
me know
were
this
full
dude
on
was just
psycho.
straight up terrible.
Yeah.
He's fucking extorting people for money.
Mhm.
He's freaking shoving people in lockers.
Yep.
He's putting garbage in their lockers,
Yeah,
like,
all
on
over
their
their
clothes.
clothes and
That
shit,
was
yeah.
crazy.
That
I
was
like,
fucked up.
let me know.
Yeah.
Like, you're just being so, like, you're just being fucked up. You're just being a demented person.
People were
at
just
that point.
psycho, dude, yeah. Just unchecked, psycho, fucking raging hormonal teens.
Just hustling people, like, in the bathroom and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, man, you're going to pay me $1 every fucking day or whatever.
Protection fee from me, from your, protecting you from myself and my gang, basically.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I really like Matt Dillon. I thought he did, like, a good job of portraying that fucking...
Oh, yeah.
that bully. I do agree that I feel like at some points it did get, like, just a little annoying because you're like, damn, bro, you're just being fucking mean for no fucking reason.
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit.
But it's like he plays that shit really good.
He
And
does,
so I was really down for it. I thought his, like, slick back hair was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
And like sometimes he wore outfits where I was just like, damn, bro, you're a fucking bully, bro. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. There was some where but again, the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s. He just wore that, like, one blue shirt where it was just, like, literally, like, down to fucking here. I was just like, let
super
me know.
disco and shit or whatever.
You're just letting shit fucking show right now.
I also really, really liked the score.
Yes.
I enjoyed it a lot because, like, it felt very, like, classical like Gone with the Wind, like 1940s, like big epic romantic vibes for like such a simple small movie about bullies, you know. But like it made those like sweet moments where like Linderman and Clifford are like starting to become friends like a little bit more poignant, I think, because like you have this like big broad like orchestral score like going over them becoming friends and stuff like that, you know. Like it was cool. I liked it.
They're riding the motorcycle and shit together. They find the part and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all da 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 da. Like
he's all and then it like pauses.
Yeah, like classic freeze frame, bro. I love it. Yeah, super cheesy.
That shit was funny.
Yeah, but yeah, like just a simple, to me, very solid movie. Like again, like I think it's like an easy hour and a half watch or whatever, however long it is. I think it's like maybe a little longer. It's like hour 30 something or whatever. But yeah, an easy watch. Like again, charming characters. Like I think a satisfying story to me overall, right? Like you do want to see like the outside kids like win in the end, but they do kind of go through their back and forths like, and I think like a pretty good way. It doesn't ever feel like forced or like, you know, they're like I said, it doesn't feel like they're just getting bullied for no fucking reason out of nowhere. Like are the bullies still assholes? Like yeah, for sure, but the back and forth between them like makes more sense than just like, oh, you're the new kid, I'm gonna pick on you because you're new. I like it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely like a nice like random fucking watch. Like I had never heard of this movie before.
Yeah, me neither.
Why did your dad pick this movie? Did he give you a reason as to why?
I don't know. I think he had like a couple of different ones in mind. There was one that I can't remember the name of, and then this other one that I also can't remember the name of, but he told me about it. It was the one he was like really dead set on picking for a while, which was like a World War II movie.
Oh damn.
That has Mark Hamill in it. And
damn.
It's like it's some kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like Red something, like Red Force One or something like that. Which is like what popped into his head like pretty quickly. But then your dad said Outsiders, and then I told him that, and he's like, okay, let me like think some more then, and then this is what he came back with. Which, again, like I think I think it was probably to do with like the Outsiders, and then this again like kind of having similar themes of like, you know, the quote unquote outsiders like banding together, you know,
outcasts, man.
Yeah, the outcasts being each other's family and whatever kind of vibes, or like, you know, people that you can rely on and shit. But yeah, so like I like seeing ones like this because like, you know, I at some point or another in my life probably would have been forced to watch The Outsiders. I would have never probably seen this if it was not for like my dad recommending it, you know, like everybody's probably going to watch. I like seeing the movies that I talk about this all the time, right? Where it's like, it's easy to look back at these decades, like the 70s and the 80s and the 60s, and be like, oh, they were so great. They like this and this and this came out during all this one decade. And it's like, yeah, but there was a lot of other movies that came out during that time as well that were not like the greatest of all time, you know? And so like, I do enjoy seeing those from time to time of like, there was still some good stuff. It's not maybe going to stand the test of time or forever of like one of pop culture's greatest movies or something like that. But there was still good stuff that was like fun and easy to watch that came out that probably flew under the radar nowadays.
Like, yeah, like this one. Never would have watched it.
Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed it. It was, I approve this dad recommendation.
You approve this?
I do. I approve this dad recommendation 100%.
I like that Clifford was basically living the sweet life of Zack and Cody before the sweet life of Zack and Cody.
Totally. Oh, I totally forgot to talk about too. One of my favorite characters in it, which is his grandma.
Oh yeah,
absolutely great. I loved it because, like, to me, that is like, I mean, they treat it as a joke, so like maybe it's not the most progressive, but it is fun to see like in an old 80s movie, like just like an older woman like having a good time, bro. Like, and not feeling shamed about it either. Exactly. Like just being like, fuck, I don't care. Like I'm having a drink, whatever. I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, so what if I want to flirt? Like, don't shame me because I'm an old woman. Like, fuck you. Like,
exactly.
She was dope, bro. I loved the grandma. Yeah, she was awesome.
Her freaking dancing with like the hotel like owner and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that was a good plot point too, right? Of like the dad's job is threatened or you think that the dad's job is threatened the entire time because he has this assistant hotel manager who's kind of a stickler fucking motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And
fuck that guy.
He's a piece of shit. He's also very annoying. But yeah, he's trying to contact like the business operations manager or whatever the fuck his title is, like the overall dude, right?
Yeah.
Of like who manages all the hotels, and he gets him over there finally, and you're like, oh shit, like the grandma's gonna fuck it up or whatever, and then they end up hitting it off and having a good time, and even that guy's like, hey, get that stick up out of your ass, bro, like fucking relax a little bit.
Tells the dad, he's like, hey man, you run like a good like operation.
Yeah,
over here. Like,
you have.
like
I
it.
think I think he tells him like, you run a very lively operation. Bitch. That's funny. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, but yeah, she was great. She was definitely one of my favorite characters. In the very, very beginning, she like sort of annoyed me because I was like, you're fucking with his job. Come on,
exactly.
like help him out. But then like the more it goes on, you're like, nah, she's innocent, dude.
Yeah,
like,
she's cool.
They're freaking out. Yeah.
I think it's so crazy how like in the classroom, if I'm remembering correctly, like wasn't Moody saying like hella just like sexual shit like to like his teacher and stuff like that?
The other thing too that tripped me out is like the teacher is reading like a very steamy passage of Romeo and Juliet to like these horny high schoolers.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very inappropriate. Like, and the same thing when Moody's saying like crazy shit too. But like, yeah, there was times where I was like, this wouldn't fly in school nowadays.
Yeah, and the
like,
teacher's just like, Moody, just like be nice.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
Again,
Again,
totally brushing it off.
different time period, right? But yeah, I was shocked even by some of the stuff that the teacher would say, because like, she's just very blatantly at one point like kind of is like, Romeo and Juliet, like it's about love, sex, and passion, and like I'm like, whoa, holy shit, you're getting a little lost in that. Like, calm down, teacher.
She just loves Romeo and Juliet that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting little story. I got sad when they freaking pushed his bike into like the pond or the lake or whatever. I was like, dang, you didn't need to do that.
That's also just a sad scene too, right? Because like you, as the audience member, have like realized and accepted that like he is also just an outsider kid, right? Who like, you know, is insecure about stuff as well, and like, you know, has his shit. But the facade has still been working. The My Bodyguard part has still been working until he hires the fucking Big Curtis dude or whatever. So like, it's also just sad to like see him get embarrassed and like bullied, you know, and he's like having to like deal with it as well. And he just literally runs away and shit. Like, yeah, heart-wrenching.
Yeah, the little chase scene that they have when he fucking like climbs down like the fire escape and stuff like that. After him.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Again, like some clever shots and some clever camera work in this movie for sure.
Yeah, I liked it. It seemed it felt like not necessarily like, again, on the level of like something crazy that people talk about all the time or whatever, but I do appreciate that like something as simple in terms of the story did try to do like more artistic things in other departments, you know, like you're saying the camera work. Like, again, I thought the score was like way bigger than it needed to be. Like like it's very much like the meme of like, we just need a simple thing or whatever. It's like, how about this? And it's like way too epic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like it. It's like, again, just like different time for like some of the things that are like a little bit trippy or whatever, but and the movie making aspects of stuff too, it's also cool and beneficial and like a fun thing to see. It's like, I don't, if this type of movie came out now, it would be littered with like super simple camera work and probably pop songs from like whatever's popular at the time it comes out in, you know?
Yeah, bunch of pop songs, a bunch of freaking like, oh, dead ass, bro. Oh,
yeah,
no cap, man. Yeah, like a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, also too, it's like bullying is way different now as well, right? Like
cyberbullying. There'd be a lot of cyberbullying.
That's the big thing now. Yeah, it's like it sounds weird, but like this is classic bullying, you know? Like,
yeah. This is bullying at its best, man.
Yeah, this is when bullying was at its peak, bro.
It's like when people talk about like football from like the 70s and the 80s, like, man, that was football. And people are like, man, this was bullying back then, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
People just shove you into a locker, dude.
People don't really go that hard anymore, man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people don't extort you for money nowadays in person like they used to. They just scam you now. They just do that pussy shit.
Honestly, that's like so real though, because like you could totally hear like, I can totally hear like some fucking old dude who's like probably like a jock bully in fucking high school, dude, being like, oh, you kids have it easy, bro. Like,
that's so. I saw a clip today of like an old, so like HBO usually does like Hard Knocks during like the football season, which is like they go behind the scenes with like the football team like throughout like the year and stuff like that, and they show like shit going on. There's one year they did it with the Browns, and there's like this super old coach, like not super old, but like he's an older coach, super big guy, and like the team stretching, he's all, this stretches stuff for some bullshit. And like they're just like, what? And he's all, yeah, think back to those guys in World War I and World War II.
Stupid.
He's all, what did they do? They did push-ups, they did jumping jacks, they did sit-ups, they climbed the rope, and they ran. You know? And they won 2 world wars.
Yeah.
2 world wars. When they were running across Normandy, you think they were thinking about fucking stretching? And I was just like, damn.
That's hella funny, bro.
Like, no, stretching is fucking good.
That's hella funny, bro.
Yeah, him being like, yeah, they won fucking 2 world wars and they didn't fucking stretch, bro.
That's hilarious. I love it. I like how that's where he goes for the argument. It's like there's so many things you could pull, but it's like straight to like, nah, man, World War II? They didn't stretch for that.
You know those guys in World War I and World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just did push-ups and sit-ups
Yeah.
and jumping jacks and climbed the rope and
Got
they
right
ran.
into action.
Yeah, and they won 2 world wars.
Yeah, exactly.
2 world wars. It's like, it was
2 wars that had the most casualties in like the histories of war,
Yeah.
at least modern war.
You're like, yeah, they won, bro, because they didn't stretch.
Yeah, exactly.
Those other guys, they were fucking stretching all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know those Germans?
that's
they
why they lost.
They were just stretching all day, bro.
That's actually how they killed Hitler. They came in because he was trying to warm up for the fight.
Yeah.
They got him off guard.
That's actually why Hitler died, is because he didn't stretch that morning. And he pulled a hamstring on his way
Yeah.
down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Should have fucking stretched, man.
But yeah, this was the heyday of bullying, man. When
Big
people
time.
would take your money,
Yeah.
when they would fucking when the funny part was
Yeah.
when he was like wetting like the paper towels
Just
and then just
chucking 'em
like
at his
throwing it
fucking
at
head,
him.
bro,
I was
yeah.
like, damn, you guys are so mean. And also when they were running around the school, I was like, how late are they at the school where no one's here
Yeah.
and no one sees them fucking these guys just chasing this fucking kid?
They don't care. They just didn't care back then. That's what I mean. It's like it really was the heyday of bullying, bro. Like to the point where even teachers were not even getting involved with that shit.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, honestly, I am like I had experiences being bullied when I was like in elementary school and like a little bit of middle school too, but like I am very, very grateful. And I honestly, it's maybe the one thing where I can see like if I like ran into a grizzled nerd and they're like, you kids don't have it as hard as we did, I'd be like, you're fucking right, bro.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, you know, cyberbullying is terrible and it causes a lot of awful things. And I'm not saying like cyberbullying is fine, but like at least like you were still getting mentally traumatized by getting shoved into a locker, and you're physically traumatized because you're getting shoved into a fucking locker, bro.
Yeah.
Like, crazy shit, dude. Getting fucking milkshakes dumped on you in the middle of fucking nothing. Getting shoved into a garbage can.
Crazy.
Like wild, bro. It's insane. And like again, like nowadays it's very, very careful and very measured, and like teachers are specifically trained to like spot that shit and like de-escalate it like as quickly as possible, versus like again back then not only was it like ignored, in some points it was like, I don't want to say encouraged, but like, oh, that's just how those boys are.
Yeah,
you
toughen
know? Like,
up, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's crazy, dude. It's fucking nuts.
Don't make your dad call the principal's office again, you fucking little wuss.
Yeah, seriously. Which you're like at the time, and in the context of the movie, you're like, no, that is good advice because you're gonna get your ass whipped even more. But then you like put reality context into it, and you're like, ooh, this is really bad. This is awful fucking environment for these kids to be in.
And then these kids just go out and fucking fight at the park.
Yeah, hilarious.
And no one stops them, man. It's
No, they just
like,
watch.
It's just okay.
I do like there's like that one funny line that actually made me laugh out loud where it's like Peach is trying to fight Moody, right? He's like getting his ass kicked for like the first like couple rounds or whatever. And fucking Linderman keeps picking him back up. And he like gives him like a new piece of advice every time he picks him up, right?
Yeah.
And then like he gets picked up for like the third time. And he's like, "You're a real class friend, you know that?" There's like whatever he fucking says to him or something. He's like, "Thanks, buddy. Like, thanks for the advice. Maybe help me out a little bit."
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, why aren't you beating the shit out of this dude?
He's
who's
just
beating
standing
the shit
there
out of
like,
your friend?
I mean, granted, he just took on like a dude who was like twice his size and shit. Like,
Moody's fucking half his
yeah, seriously,
size.
yeah. But yeah, I was cracking up. It is pretty funny. He's just like, nah, you got to handle this one yourself, champ.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm here though. I'm in your corner.
Learn to fight for yourself,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad that they did kick the shit out of him at the end, because I was like, I
Yeah.
was definitely like sitting there like, beat his ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Beat his ass.
He definitely deserves it for sure.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Moody's a bitch.
What would you rate this movie, sir? What would you give this?
I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not obviously like a perfect movie or anything. Again, like I don't think it does anything crazy, exceptionally like over the top, like awesomely. But I also don't think it does anything like bad or wrong, really. Like there's nothing in this movie that's like terrible to me. Again, it's like short enough to like not overstay its welcome or anything like that. So yeah, just like a solid 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give it like a 7.5.
Nice.
Like I'm down for it. Like it's definitely not your, like it is your run of the mill like 80s like bullying story, but it's also not your run of the mill 80s bullying story, you know. I feel like it does you know, some things to separate itself from just like your stereotypical ones, you know. But yeah, it was good. It wasn't like you said, it wasn't like the best movie, but it also wasn't the worst movie.
Yeah.
It was right around that like 7.5, and I gave it a 7.5.
Pretty nice.
But yeah.
To
My Bodyguard, go and watch that shit.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a bodyguard.
I found it on YouTube without having to pay for it, which was nice.
Oh, nice. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was just the whole hour and something or whatever, just on a video. And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Don't have to rent this one.
I just went to Amazon Prime.
That's why I always go to YouTube now first, especially when we're watching older movies,
Uh-huh.
because like some of the ones that are like not super popular, like are just up there for free.
Nice.
They just have them on there.
But yes, let us move on
To the Outsiders.
to The Outsiders. My dad's choice.
Yes. A
'Cause that's-
classic.
Yeah, that shit's. He says like that's his like favorite movie.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. When I like, he's like, that's the first movie that was like, yeah, this is my favorite.
That's
is
awesome.
My favorite movie.
Uh.
And he's like so funny because my dad's a simple man. You know, he's not like thinking too hard about these movies, and he's just like, yeah, how'd you like it? And I was like, oh yeah, it was cool. Like it was a good movie. Like I really enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, it's just cool how they just fight at the end, you know, like they don't use guns or anything, like they just fight. And I was just like, yeah, dude, like yeah, that's what this movie's about.
Yeah, the
bro.
rumble.
Yeah, they fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I liked it. I think it's a good story. I definitely want to go and read the book.
Yeah.
Because I'm very interested. But yeah, I liked it. It's crazy like how star-studded of a cast this is. You have freaking Emilio Estevez, you have Ralph Macchio, you have Patrick Swayze, you have Tom Cruise.
Rob Lowe is in the movie too.
Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
You have C. Thomas freaking Howell, yeah, the dude that plays Ponyboy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good. It was definitely one that like I'm pretty sure I started watching like in middle school at some point, like in class one time, but they like never showed us the rest of it, and so like I never
finished it
because I just like associated it with school, and I was like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's a pretty good story. You know, I like it. It's like, you know, a 50s, 60s story where you got, you know, the people who are the greasers, who are the low income people. Then you got the socias, the people who are all like the rich fucking motherfuckers that got everything.
Opposite sides of town.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's a interesting story about like, you know, just like classism and also like being a good person and like not, you know, thinking for yourself and not fucking, you know, letting other people like influence you and stuff like that.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, it has all the 80s cheese to it as well, dude.
For sure.
I really fucking like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Ponyboy, definitely a classic character for sure.
Yeah.
Fucking Johnny.
Oh yeah,
is the realest fucking friend ever.
Yeah.
And not only because he fucking, you know, kills the dude that's freaking trying to drown freaking Ponyboy.
Yeah.
But because when freaking
Ponyboy goes into the burning building and shit.
That too, but when Ponyboy like leaves, like they fall asleep and then they leave and he goes home and then his brother fucking Derry gets all mad at him.
Yeah.
And so he leaves. He freaking trips and runs into Johnny again, and Johnny's like sleeping on the street or whatever. And then
he's like, "Come on, Johnny, we're getting out of here."
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, Johnny, we're running away." And Johnny's just like, "All right, cool," and just takes off with him. I'm like, "Damn, dude, like you're a fucking real one. You're deep sleep.
Yeah.
Your homie stumbles upon you and is like, we're running away from home," and you're like, "All right, cool," and you just take off with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's a fucking definition of a real one right there.
Bro. That's ride or die for sure.
But yeah, I don't ever think I watched it up to the point where like Johnny like kills the dude, so I didn't fucking know that they
okay.
ran away because freaking they killed the dude, and I was like, holy shit, let me know this kid who's just like what 16 or like 14.
I think
just,
he's 14. I think he's lying about being 16.
yeah, let me know he just murdered this guy, and they have to just like run away now.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, it is definitely very wild. I also I liked it. I did have a like weird time watching it because I could not help but think to myself the entire time, like, the book is for sure better than this.
Oh,
like, there was just like I got the overall excitement and like love in a very like chunked out way. But like I think this was one of those ones that like lived in infamy too long before I saw it. Cause like everything I've heard about The Outsiders and like Stay Gold and Pony Boy and like all this stuff, right, is like iconic and like legendary to people, right? It didn't hit like on that level for me, for sure. Like again, like the whole time I could not help but feel like everything was very abbreviated versions of like what it probably is in the book.
Everything feels very fast.
Yeah. The other thing too I will say is I watched the regular version. Apparently there's one called like the full novel version, and it's like 2 hours long. So you get an extra 30 minutes in there. Like maybe that'll change the pace up a little bit.
Yeah. I think the beginning and end are closer to the book and like the longer version.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cause that was my main gripe with the movie was like, it reminded me a lot of Ray, where like what I was seeing in these different sections I enjoyed, but I didn't really like the way all these different sections were strung together. Because like it was very much like, oh, greasers and socials don't like each other, and this is the girl that he kind of likes who's not going to show up till the end of the movie, and then oh, they have troubled family lives, and then they run away, and then he killed somebody, and then they're on the run, and then that's over now and they're not on the run anymore, and then but they went into a burning building to save a bunch of kids. Yeah, like all this crazy intense shit just happens so quickly within the span of like I think an hour and a half, right?
Yeah,
like the regular version is very, very short.
And
so like performances were great, camera work is awesome. There's like a lot of really cool shots that I liked in this one for sure.
I like all the filming at night. The filming at night was really cool.
It looks good. It like it gives you it brings you into the atmosphere, I think, of like them being on the run for sure. And like, you know, the isolation and like the church house and stuff like that too. Like again, when they're in the moments, I think that they do a good job of what they are. It just like moved like a little too fast for me. And like the other thing too I'll say is that like I wasn't, again, this is, I think, for sure due to like expectations, but like, again, I have heard countless things about this movie forever and ever and ever. Like, obviously, The Outsiders is like one of the biggest like 80s movies, I think, and like for a lot of people, for like a whole generation of people. But like, I wasn't like, I don't know, I was expecting like, I don't know, I was expecting a little more, I think.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know, like I'm not going to say I was so let down that I didn't like the movie, but it was there are times when I watch movies like that and I'm like, "Oh, I get it." Like, holy shit, I would have been obsessed too, or like I am obsessed now. But that wasn't the case for me with this one.
I feel you. I kind of felt the same way where I was like, "Holy shit, like a lot of stuff is going down very fast." And now we're at the middle, and now we're like at the end of the fucking movie, you know.
Yeah.
And I did feel like there was supposed to be more, you know, like
more context.
I feel like the stuff like when they're literally like on the run and they're at like the freaking, what is that, like the old church or whatever?
The abandoned church.
Like I feel like they just really like go through that shit like really fast. It's just
it's
like a little
3-minute montage. Yeah.
And I'm like, these are these two kids on the run. You're telling me there's not more to like what's fucking going on down here, and these guys are just reading Gone with the Wind. Is that all that's going on? And they're just like looking at sunsets and
eating
Pony Boy's freaking reciting what's his fucking name? That poet, freaking
some guy.
Yeah.
It's not H.G. Wells.
No.
Some other fancy schmancy.
I know his fucking name. He also did the freaking it's Robert Frost. It's Robert Frost, yeah.
That's him,
the two roads diverged in Yellowwood, but he does the something
Stay gold, right? Or no.
I forget what the poem's called.
Yeah, but it's like something about how like nothing stays gold, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Then that's where like the line comes
from.
Like, stay gold, Pony Boy.
Yeah. And Johnny's just like, damn. that's exactly how I feel, and that has such like a profound like impact on
Yeah.
him. Like I thought that shit was like good, but it's just like there should be more from that. You know, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be just this random like. And maybe also that's how it is in the book. I don't know, but
Well,
like
I think what I was imagining when I was watching the movie was that I can see all of those sequences being a lot more intriguing when you have the like the type of like storytelling and character development that a book has, where you can literally be inside their head, right? Like I imagine a lot of the like intrigue from that scene comes from what they're going through mentally,
yeah,
because there's nothing exciting happening physically, right?
Yeah.
They're really like, how are you gonna shoot 5 days? Like that's a series or something like that, you know? Like that's hard to do in a movie. So like again, I think it was like maybe the medium of it, or like not knowing the book before watching the movie, that maybe like influenced my viewing a little bit more. But like I could imagine it being that coming, like being some of the drama, you know, of like them being like, oh fuck, like my best friend fucking killed somebody and now we're on the run, and like what does that do to, like, you know, like that's just how it is in books, right? They're always fucking thinking to themselves and talking to themselves and shit. So
yeah,
I could see that being more exciting in the book and like more interesting in the book for sure.
yeah. I feel that. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. Honestly, it was good.
It's fun to just see this many actors like interacting with each other before they are who they are too.
Yeah,
Because like I think that was a real treat. It was like at one point you literally have
but Patrick Swayze is Patrick Swayze at this moment, right?
I think so, but I want to say it's like early Patrick Swayze still, because I think
Because when did Dirty Dancing?
like late 70s, I'm pretty sure, and this
Okay.
is like 83, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he's Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I think he's still Dreamboat Patrick Swayze.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's like action Dreamboat,
Oh,
like
okay.
full
Yeah.
superpower star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he was probably Patrick Swayze, but I think he was like on the way to being like Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
But yeah, at one point you have him, you have Tom Cruise, you have Matt Dillon, you have Emilio Estevez. Ralph Macchio's not there at the end. And Rob Lowe is there though. But you have all of them in like one sequence, just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
In the mud, and it's like, this is so crazy to see like fucking Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible and fucking what's his name? I can't remember his name, from The Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
Like just the famous roles that I know them from. Like it's just funny to see them all as like kids, like teenagers.
I thought it was funny that like Ponyboy was just getting the shit beat out of him.
The
like
whole
he
time.
was
He
not
doesn't even fight.
Yeah, he does not even fight. He just gets his shit kicked.
He's
in.
also sick and like kind of an idiot too, because like he just goes like, for all of his talk of like we're the outsiders or whatever, he goes along with everything that the greasers do. Like he's just trapped in it, you know. I can't get out of it.
Yeah. But that was his whole like, that was the whole like Ponyboy, like, hey man, stay gold, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Don't let
this shit break you down.
Yeah, dude. Like, be you. Like, don't let people like influence you. Which like,
Yeah.
I his home life kind of sucked. I felt bad for him that like, he just lived with like his brothers and shit like that, and their house
Their
wasn't really
parents
fucking
died.
good. Yeah, their
Yeah.
parents fucking died. That
Yeah.
shit sucked. Poor Ponyboy, man.
I know. Crazy. Yeah, he's a funny character to me, because like, again, like I mean, they do call it out in the beginning of the movie, which I think is funny, right? Where like they're obviously dressed the part and they have their hair greased up and everything like that, but I think it's Diane Lane.
Cherry.
Yeah, Cherry Valance. Fucking like, and her friend like spot it right away. They're like, you guys aren't so bad. Like, you guys are nice boys or whatever. Because they like look all like greasered up and everything, but then you hear them talk and they're like, hey there, how you doing?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Super soft spoken, like super shy.
Whereas Dally is all freaking. He's just a piece of shit. Again, Matt Dillon playing.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I don't think I thought he's a piece of shit in the beginning of the movie for sure, and like technically still, because he's like a misogynist, right? But like, I think he's, in my eyes, he's redeemed in the movie, because I think he's also caught in the cycle as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like they do a good job, I think, of showing that like it's super small and it's tiny hints. And again, I'd be interested to see like if it's expanded on more in the books. But like, there's like that scene where he's talking to Johnny and Ponyboy, right, where he's He's like, you don't know what like a few months in prison will do to you, man. He's like, don't get mean. He's like, I don't want what happened to me to happen to you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so like you get the hints of like, and even Johnny too in his letter at the end, like, I mean, he doesn't know that he died, right? But like he's telling him like, fucking tell Dally to fucking look at a sunset. Like, I don't think he's ever seen one. Like,
Oh,
you help
yeah.
him see or whatever, you know, like
Yeah.
there's hints in the movie that like he is everybody has a little bit of like an outsider in them, right? Because at the end of the day, like we're all unique or whatever, and like I think that's part of what it is it's like they're going along with their roles of stuff. But like, yeah, I thought he was good in this, and I liked his character in it because he's also down as fuck, and I think he's also like a good homie because like literally fucking again same shit, right? Like they run away and they like show up at his door and he's like sleeping. And fucking Johnny's like, I fucking killed somebody, bro. And he's like, shut the fuck up. Take this money. Take this gun. You go here. You get a week's worth of food. And you lay the fuck down. Like, lay low. And I'll come get you when it's over. You got me? And he's like, cool. And they fucking leave. And, like, honestly, for a second, I was like, damn, is he just going to, like, ditch him? Like, is he going to leave him? And, like, it's a road trip movie now? Because, like, I didn't even know the story either, right? Because, like, I never read it or anything. But no, like, he comes back and, like, fucking brings him back in, buys him food, is like trying to tell him what to do next and shit like that. So like he's a homie too. Like I think all of the greasers are definitely, at least the main cast of them, they do a good job of portraying them as like family. Yeah. Even outside the three brothers, you know. Exactly. Which is good. I like that part of it too.
Yeah, I thought that shit was really nice. Fucking Dallas.
I think so, right? Yeah, Dallas. Yeah, he's annoying in the beginning because he's like hitting on Cherry all hardcore and like being super creepy and like not backing off and shit. But yeah, like to the boys, he's cool, I guess, you know, and with the greasers and stuff.
Dally ain't so bad, you know?
I mean, honestly, too, like
Dally ain't so bad.
I think that's also part of like the, like, it's not super heavy, but I think Ponyboy talks to Cherry at the end, right? Or at some point, maybe like when he comes back and he's like all blonde or whatever. Yeah. And she's like saying, she's talking about the kid who got stabbed. I can't remember his name.
I think it was Bob.
Bob, yeah, there you go. She's like, she tells the court or whatever, right, that it was like probably self-defense because like she knows how he is and everything. And like, but again, there's like a quick moment where even she says like kind of the same thing, right? Where she's like, you didn't like, he had it coming and like he was an asshole, but like people also didn't know his sweet side either. Like there was a part of him that was like also nice too or whatever, like in the right scenario, you know, like in the right environment. But he just was also caught in the fucking, in the roles in the gang shit of fucking Socias versus Greasers and whatever, you know. But yeah.
Socias and Greasers, bro. Would you be a Soch or would you be a Greaser?
Definitely a Greaser. I wouldn't want to be a Soch, bro. Fuck that. Yeah. No thanks. I'm cool.
Yeah, I'd be down to be a fucking Greaser, bro. Yeah.
They just seem more like homies.
I probably wouldn't rumble like that, though.
Nah, me neither. No, I would, I'd bring like...
I would support my homies in the rumble.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be like, yeah, bro, hey, I got you, dude. You need some water?
You're sitting there, water in the corner. Yeah. Yeah, I just, like, there's, at least in the way it's portrayed in the movie, there just seems to be, like, more camaraderie among the Greasers versus, like, the Socias all just seem like assholes who are together because they're, like,
at the same
rich,
school
and they're
all
all
have
rich.
everything.
Yeah, and they're,
all
like,
that
on
shit.
the football team or whatever, you know? So, yeah, they seem like assholes.
Yeah, this was definitely a movie where I did not expect the ending. I didn't expect anything from this movie, honestly. I think the same as you, like the expectations that this was like, oh my God, this is like one of the greatest movies like of all time. Yeah. Like it has this like notoriety to it that like when you go into it, you're like, okay, it's going to be fucking great. Yeah. And like, not that it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like the greatest movie ever. Mm-mm. It was just, it was pretty good. Like, getting to see all these actors so young in their career, telling the story, but, feeling like the story, like there's more to the story than they're like letting us on and they're like giving us, so it was pretty good. I think, is it one of my favorite movies of all time? Definitely not, but
no, yeah, I agree.
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I could see how it is like that movie for a lot of people, but like I also think that is because it's still read by, at least I think it is. When we were in high school, I think it was still a thing. I don't know if it is now, but like up until like the last like 5 to 10 years at the very least. Like that's something that people still read in school, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was probably much more popular back then too, like when it was around. So I can imagine, because like I remember hearing too when I was in school like that was one of the ones that like kids actually enjoyed, right? Like we always had to read a bunch of books for class, but they weren't always like hits, right? Like sometimes you just read through it because you had to, but sometimes you get like an Of Mice and Men, right? Or you get like an Outsiders or whatever. That's just like, oh shit, no, I actually really fucking like this. Am I like an annoying teenager who's like, I want to read a book? Yes, but this got me though, you know, or whatever, right? So and I think this is definitely one of those ones. So I could see how when this came out, it was probably like a big event for people who had been reading the book and who had like come to love this story and stuff. So like I get it, but yeah, without the historical context of it, and I think especially without the book context, I don't know if it's like as strong on its own as a movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's definitely better if you've read the book, because I feel like there's just more shit that you get from like what the characters are thinking and going through and stuff that you can like project onto them as like the viewer, you know, when you know how it is in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what would you rate it?
I give it a strong 7. Yeah.
I think I'm the same. I think I'm at a 7 as well.
The only reason it doesn't get higher is like, and like the only reason why I gave the other one higher is like I wasn't expecting anything from that one and it exceeded my expectations. Versus it was like the opposite with this one, which is like maybe a little bit unfair to like judge it based off of that. But yeah, it was just like I said, it was a weird watch because like I finished it and I was like, okay, I get it. But this did not hit the way that I was like expecting it to hit, like off of what everybody's told me from this movie.
Yeah, I was like, let me know Johnny died, but fucking but nothing happened to Dally. Nothing really happened to
Dally. Totally fucking dies too. Dally gets shot up in the street.
But like in terms of like the fire. And,
oh
like,
yeah, that's
with,
true.
Like,
yeah,
the fire.
Yeah. Because Ponyboy's also fine too. I was also laughing because like the scene that cracked me up was Ponyboy like gets out of like his like passing out or whatever after they all show up at the hospital, right? And he's like still covered in like ash and like soot and shit, and he's like all fucking got the black smears all over, and he fucking pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking. And I'm like, you were literally just in a house full of fucking burning fire smoke. How are you smoking a cigarette, kid?
It's just how it was back then, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
They're just like little fiends for smokes, dude.
Yeah,
like every fucking scene.
I know. Fucking Derry tells him, right? Like when he leaves one time after like he gets home from like the burning building shit. He's like, if I catch you smoking more than a pack today, he's like, I'll whoop your ass.
Yeah,
and it's like, what
so
the
crazy.
fuck, bro? A 14-year-old smoking a whole pack of cigarettes. That's insane.
If I catch you smoking more than a pack.
Yeah.
So stay within the pack.
Yeah, at least that. You know, like that's crazy, bro. That's wild. But yeah, again, different times, right? Like kids just smoked cigarettes back then.
I thought it was funny that like before the fight at the end, like fucking Derry, freaking Patrick Swayze's character is just like doing push-ups like before the fight.
Yeah.
And then he's just like good. He's just like, all right, cool, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, Ponyboy, I really don't want you in this fight. And Ponyboy was like, nah, dude, I got this. And he's like, all right, dude.
Cool.
Right,
he's like,
cool.
fine. Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, let's go.
But then he just gets his ass beat.
Yeah, seriously, he does. He looks ridiculous too, with like the blonde hair and everything.
He looks funny, dude.
Yeah, he reminds me of like Billy Joel from Green Day, like in the times when he had his hair like dyed super blonde like that.
What about Tom Cruise and his like missing tooth?
Oh god, and like when he's eating the fucking chocolate cake and it's smeared all over his teeth and shit. I was like,
fucking hilarious,
gross,
dude.
bro.
Made me want some chocolate cake for sure.
Oh, for sure. I know, fucking Emilio Estevez just like, what's his name? 2-Bit Matthews, right?
Yeah.
Fucking just sitting in front of the TV watching cartoons with chocolate cake and a fucking beer.
Yeah.
Like savage shit, bro.
Them being like, hey, bro, Mickey's on the fucking TV.
And like,
he's just
everybody
like, oh, fuck
drops
yeah.
what they're doing to like watch Mickey
like,
Mouse.
whoa, bro, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, crazy. Pretty funny.
The cultural impact of Mickey Mouse, bro, at the time.
Cannot be understated, man.
People were like, whoa, dude, I gotta check and see what Mickey's doing today.
Even at this time, bro, Mickey Mouse is a powerhouse, bro.
Straight up.
The mouse is king.
Mickey Mouse is powerhouse, bro.
Mickey Mouse is powerhouse. That's like the fucking, it's like it's like Shark Tank but with like the Mickey Mouse characters.
Yeah.
It's Mickey, Goofy, and like Donald all in chairs like, well, what do you got for us today, fellas? I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one, guys.
That shit sucked.
Yeah. Exactly. What are you trying to sell? Like, yeah.
I would love to see that, honestly.
Mickey
I'd be
Mouse's
pretty
Power
freaking down.
Hour, yeah.
Let's do it.
It'd be hilarious.
But yeah, you got anything more to say about The Outsiders? I don't know. Like it was it was weird. It was like a pretty quick fucking movie. So,
yeah, that's what I think is hard. Is it's like it just felt like I wasn't. I would be interested to go back and watch the longer version to see if that like changes my opinion on it. Cause like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels like there's not very much to say about it. Like, you watch it, it is what it is. I don't think it's. I think this is a pretty simple movie too. It's certainly like a little bit more thematically like layered and like complex than My Bodyguard, but by today's standards, it's certainly like very simple compared to like how crazy like in depth like things get and like mindfuckery bullshit or whatever, you know, like. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was just surprising to see something that is so like, again, iconically heralded as like, this is one of the movies like of all time, you know.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was just surprising to watch it and be like, oh, it's over in an hour and a half, and like three major things happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Johnny for sure. He's such like a tragic character because like he's so like nice and like obviously doesn't fit in with like the greaser like lifestyle, you know, but it's just like, but that's like, just where he comes from. And like
he's also got like crazy PTSD too, because he got like a crazy fucking scar.
Yeah, he just got beat the fuck up
by some dude with rings on his fingers. Every time he sees that guy, he's like fucking trips out and shit.
But then also like his home life is hella good and stuff like that, and he like tells Ponyboy like, dude, I want to like kill myself sometimes, and you're just like, damn bro, like I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, no, I know, it's fucked up. I know. And then that line at the end too, when he's laying there and he's like, I used to talk about killing myself, but it's not long enough, man. He's like, 16 years is too short, or whatever he says, 15 years or whatever. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's hardcore. That's fucked up.
That sucks. But I'm glad he like had the epiphany of like, yeah, fighting and all this shit is like useless, bro. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I liked saving those kids because like they have more to live for.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That was again tragic, like you said, right? Because like he should get to live as well, but yeah, it's definitely he's got like a nice little hero sacrifice moment at the end for sure.
Shout out Johnny Boy, bro.
And Ralph Macchio plays him good too.
Yeah.
Again, interesting to see him like pre-Karate Kid, you know. He looks definitely way younger for sure.
Sweep the leg.
There's this one that he's in that's I can't remember what it's called. Damn it, I'm not gonna remember what it's called. Oh, I think it's called Crossroads. But he plays like a guitar player who like makes a deal with the devil and has to like go up against him and shit like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
He has to out guitar the devil.
Yeah, he play who is he? I think he faces off against Eddie Vedder, or like, I don't think it's Van Halen. I think it's Eddie Vedder. Like some famous like 80s shred metal guitarist, like from the time when the movie came out, is like the devil's guitar player. And then like, I was gonna call him Johnny I don't know what his name is in this movie that I'm talking about, but yeah, Ralph Macchio is like, you know, represents like the people or whatever.
Yeah.
And like out shreds him, of course, but the power of awesomeness.
That's
but it looks cool. I've watched the like final guitar battle, because it's literally just like a fucking shred off at the end, right? Like that's how the climax of the movie is. Like 100 times, because it's like epic solos from both of them just getting down. But like, yeah, I want to see the rest of the movie too.
What's it called?
I think it's called Crossroads.
Okay.
Yeah. Based off of the classic Crossroads blues song, which is literally about like, I think that's where the myth and like the legends come from, is that song. I cannot remember the name of the artist, but he's like the classic original like blues like guitar player singer from like way back in the day. But yeah, he wrote that song called Crossroads, and it was like about how he apparently met with the devil and sold his soul to become like an amazing guitar player.
Interesting.
And thus the legend was born.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The legend of Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, exactly. The legend of the Karate Kid.
The legend of Daniel-san.
The legend of Ralph Macchio. Johnny Karate Guitar Kid.
He'll paint your fence. He'll kick your ass. He'll play the guitar.
And then he'll burn up and die.
And then he'll kill somebody for you.
He'll shank you in the back.
Goddamn, dude.
Crazy.
But yeah, anything else you got to say to the people out there?
Not much. Just thanks for continuing to watch. I'm excited for the rest of this year. We definitely have some new ideas that we want to try out for sure. We have new equipment already. It looks really good. I went back and showed the video to my dad. I forget why. Oh, because he was asking about the mic stands that we have, because we've been doing rehearsals and stuff. But he asked about the ones that like I would use. And he's like, "Do you have them?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Do you need them?" And I was like, "Nope, not anymore." I was like, check it out.
Check it out,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. I know. I'm excited to do another like My Dad's Choice, because
Yeah.
my dad, I totally forgot about The Outsiders, but like my dad has movies like Vision Quest that I think are are really good. He loves like Bloodsport, Rambo, The Karate Kid, obviously. Like there's hella movies that I think are definitely better than The Outsiders for sure.
There's this one that as another one that my dad was like going back and forth with, which like I sat down and watched a little bit of it with him before, like a few years ago. But it's this one called Hawk the Slayer, and it's
Hawk
just
the
like
Slayer.
Yeah, and it's just like a cheesy 80s like fantasy romp where like this dude, I'm pretty sure he can like communicate with a hawk.
Damn.
And his name is Hawk the Slayer. And
Hawk
like,
the Slayer.
Yeah, they're like a duo, and he just kicks ass with a sword, and he looks like Conan, kind of.
You ever heard of Hawk the Slayer?
That's such a good name, honestly. Like if you're playing D&D, or like you're in any fantasy setting, really, and you hear about like, you heard of Hawk the Slayer? You go, oh fuck,
Don't Hawk the Slayer.
yeah, bro.
That's funny.
It's a name that strikes fear into the hearts of his enemies.
Hawk the Slayer. But yeah, guys, that was episode number.
Is that 88 or is that 89? I think it's 88, right?
I believe it's 89. No, I think last episode was 88.
Dang.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that was episode number 89. Go and follow us on all the tings: Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, 2i4TV, TOOHIGH4TV. And you already know what it is. That's a number 4.
Yes. The symbol.
Don't write it out.
The symbolic character.
Don't spell it out. Symbolize it. Write it. Draw it. Draw it out.
Symbolize it.
Yeah, guys, that was episode number 89. I was one of your hosts, Ryan.
I was your other host, Daniel.
And we are motherfucking...
Howdy.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Bye-bye.